The game plays right here.
Are you ready for some football?
Your sports leader, WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, and WCSL Cherryville Gastonia.
Only do things incredible can, cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
There you
All
go.
right, Hunter, you want to re-welcome everybody because we weren't hitting.
Yeah.
And I knew that, and it was the last thing I did and said, don't forget, and I forgot. But welcome everybody. I tell you what, I'm going to give Hunter a second chance. Go, Hunter.
Welcome, everybody, to today's episode of Shock Joxx here, live from Cherryville, North Carolina, from KTC Broadcasting. Hunter Yancey here, Kevin Hastings, and Tanner Intern Tanner. Sorry, I got that flip-flopped. But here's your opportunity.
I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters.
That's not
I don't think it matters,
name,
but here's your opportunity. Say hey to the people, Tanner.
Hey, how's it going?
There you go. Say it with your chest.
There you go.
There you go. Put a little bit of emphasis on it.
I mean,
Hello.
you can't sit around in a Jordan jersey and not be ready to talk some smack, right?
Yeah.
You can't just sit around wearing a goat shirt. Like, all my jerseys back here, so we play in the backyard. If I didn't put my Jordan jersey on much, so I didn't want to scare my friends. So I'd come out there in my Reggie Miller, bomb some threes. Dan Marley bombed some threes. I was trying to think. I had Stackhouse, Rasheed Wallace. I don't think I got that Okafor until I was already too old to play in the backyard. But the Jordans, they came out and they were in trouble. The good guys came over. But Hunter, I got a list of things to get into today. You were talking about some Andrew Luck rumors a minute ago. I wasn't expecting you to say that out loud, but
Yeah.
me and Tanner were jamming to some Naughty by Nature and some Boys to Men when you walked in. So flashback 90s style. When y'all were born and when I was having middle school dances, standing 6 inches apart, holding hips to Boys to Men, end of the road. Oh, golly, so old. Well, did you want to expand on any of that, or do you want me to read my list and me say what's going on? Any of that, Andrew Luck?
I didn't know if that's something that you would want to get into, just because, I mean, I was reading up on it, but you go ahead and list off what you have on your list that you want to get to, and we'll see where we can squeeze that in.
I wanted to talk about the Charlotte Hornets' fantastic bench guard, Malik Monk, how he's the GOAT.
Probably did a lot of cocaine again.
He's the best player in Charlotte. 36 points, overtime victory, got a first-round pick off the bench, Hunter, and I didn't get one text or one tweet from any of my quote-unquote Charlotte Hornets fan friends who happen to be fanboys now of LaMelo Ball and watch ESPN constantly and worship everything the kid does. He got his first start. He was 5th in points. The guy backing him up had 36 points. That was picked, year or 2 years ago? Now, I know he's had some issues.
Yes, he has.
But he dropped 36 points off the bench. If LaMelo Ball did that, Hunter, they would the whole ESPN today would be nothing but LaMelo Ball.
You act like a game ago, not the one he just played, but off the bench, he didn't drop 27.
Yeah. That's not 36.
Still 27.
Was it a win?
Yeah.
Was it?
They've won 3 straight.
No, I know. What
Yeah.
I'm saying is that I got all kinds of texts after that game.
Right.
But I didn't get none when Malik Monk did it.
I don't know. It's just because you don't sit here and praise or crap on Malik Monk.
I'm not crapping on
And not to
LaMelo.
mention Malik Monk hasn't really played at all because
I said-
he was probably
I
still
have
going
said
through his
LaMelo
issues.
shouldn't be a number 3 pick. I've said LaMelo is as good as his brother. If that's crapping on, you can call it crapping on, I guess, but I ain't said he's bad. I ain't said he's awful.
Right.
I'm saying he's not great. He's not
Okay.
He's not Luka Doncic.
Nobody's Luka Doncic.
Right. Why can't we draft Luka Doncic?
Well, that you take that up with front office.
That's what he was picked 3rd.
I know. You just take that up with your front
What
office.
I'm saying is every time the lead highlight too on the Hornets page in that game was a LaMelo Ball pass.
Yeah.
Dude, if I scored 36 points in a game and your highlight is some dude throwing a pass, like I'm having problems. Like, why are we not talking about me on SportsCenter? They ain't talking about Monk at all.
Right.
Shouldn't they have stopped the day and say, Hornets first round pick? This is a great story. Comeback story of the year, Hunter. He could be the comeback player of the year.
Nah. This is not that big of a story. It's just not because Malik Monk has had 2 years prior to pan out and actually show something.
So
in
if
it.
the
And
number
not to
3 pick
mention-
gets 27, it's a story.
Yeah.
But if the other draft lottery pick from 2 years ago gets 36, it's not a story.
Kevin, you got to remember.
don't get
You
it.
got to remember the name though. It's not. It's LaMelo Ball. It's not Malik Monk.
Right.
You got to remember the name and which one is the story. I've said
and
it.
Malik Monk
I've
is
said
better.
it from the beginning. I don't care if LaMelo was great or what. This made Charlotte. He made Charlotte interesting. That's exactly what he
But
did.
I don't get why. I do not get why. Because his dad has a show. Like, honestly,
It's
let's think about
literally
this.
because of
Let's
his
think about this.
passing
If there was
ability.
no Ball brothers,
Uh-huh.
if there was no Lonzo and no dad,
Right.
he wouldn't have been picked 3rd.
That's debatable.
Let's say there's no dad. Like, where does he go? He
That's-
doesn't go to Australia first.
That's just debatable. Because
It's not.
It's just debatable because there's nobody else in that draft class that's really just standing head above heels over him.
Cole Anthony.
Cole Anthony dropped because he had an injury, though.
Right.
To me, seriously, when those draft boards came out the year prior, when Cole Anthony was, of course, going to Carolina, they had him being a top 5 pick, regardless as the point guard position. But it was because of that injury why he dropped. Now, I 110% can agree with you on that. I think, to honest to God, Orlando might have got the steal of the draft, being able to get him where they did. But if you look at this draft overall, even James Wiseman is not outplaying as great as LaMelo is. The only one that kind of is the kid up in Minnesota. But what would you expect if he was everybody's number 1 pick, but you're sitting there at 2 and 3, you never really had a chance for Anthony Edwards. So it's like, where LaMelo was picked at 3, nobody behind him outside of possibly you could say Cole Anthony is head and shoulders better than where he was picked.
Quickly is averaging the same number of points. Where was he picked?
Oh my God! Quickly, he plays for New York, doesn't
Right.
he?
He's played 18 games. He's averaging the same number of points as LaMelo.
Well, then he was not there. He wasn't their first round pick because quickly Obi Toppin was their first round pick.
Wiseman, the same number of points. Edwards more. Cole Anthony, 1 point less. Halliburton, 1 point less.
But you see what I'm saying? It's like just
No,
the
when
draft
Cole-
class as a whole is like
But when Cole, now here's but what I mean, Hunter, is about the ESPN coverage. when one of those guys score 27, they're not going to be the first scope of stories on ESPN.
No,
And
they're
LaMelo
not.
is.
I know.
And my question is why?
But I've told you it's his name.
Okay.
That's honestly it. That's it, seriously.
That he's not a good player. It's just his name.
No, he's a good player. There's a difference between a good and a great player.
Rank him on the Hornets. What was best player on the Hornets?
Well, best player on the Hornets easily right now
I know,
is
but
Hayward.
where's he?
He could be 6th, 5th or 6th. I mean, that's still a starter or 6th man.
So think about it. If you had a Charlotte Hornets draft, he wouldn't be picked 3rd.
Probably
And the
not.
Hornets picked him 3rd
Right.
in the NBA draft.
But look at everybody else around him. That's what I'm saying is you look at everybody, even James Wiseman, who was picked 2nd, is scoring the same amount of points as he is. So it's like that draft as a whole, there was no clear crapshoot winner here outside of Anthony Edwards
I just
from
want,
Georgia.
if Cole Anthony scores 27, I want that to be the number one.
Like even Avdija, who you liked. I mean, he's not doing really anything for us in Washington. I know he was injured for a few weeks.
It's
It's
just
just
played 12 games.
it's hit or miss on these players. And that's the NBA draft, and you know it just like everybody else does. I mean, you could go one season where you are lucky enough and you get Anthony Davis at the number 1 pick, or you go and take like Kwame Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just hit or miss.
I'm
Or
just
Anthony
saying,
Bennett.
LaMelo Ball has the best publicist in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, it's his dad.
It is amazing to me, no matter what happens or what he does. Again,
Now, I will say this. I mean, he does have some passing ability and some passing skills. And that...
y'all are mistaking me saying he shouldn't get all the praise he's getting as for saying he's bad.
Well, I've never heard you say he's good.
Well, he's not good.
I mean, I think he's good.
All right, so
He'd school all of us in basketball.
We're talking about words here, so let's rate him. Is he a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star player? As in,
As a rookie?
right now,
That's what I'm saying. Right now.
he's a 2.
Maybe a 3. Maybe a 3.
That's a starter. So here's
I
what
know,
I'm
that's
gonna
what
do.
I'm saying.
5's a starter, 4's an all-star. I mean, 5's superstar, 4
Superstar,
all-star, 3's
right.
a starter, 2's a role player.
Right.
He's a role player right now.
Right. Well, he just got his first start, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But if they move off Terry, then he's a 3. He's a starter.
Well, put it this way. He got a start without Terry there, and his backup scored 36.
Sometimes
Maybe
you just
that
get
guy
hot.
should have been playing this whole time instead of the guy.
Sometimes somebody just gets
Well,
hot.
who would you rather have, the guy that gets 14 or the guy that gets 36?
He got 36 in one game.
Right, and LaMelo got 14.
Right. But the game prior, LaMelo had 27. So it's like you can't just dismiss what he has done for what one guy did in one night. I'm just saying the reason why it's such a draw is we got to look back in history to the Lob City Clippers. That's exactly what it was. I know they were more of a makeup of talent with DeAndre, Blake Griffin, and Chris Paul, but what was it every week? It was Chris Paul throwing some crazy pass up to Blake Griffin on a dunk, or DeAndre Jordan for a dunk. And see, that's what I think.
And they were
They're-
a good basketball team.
Well, they were a good
This
basketball
is not
team.
a good basketball
Well, this is a decent basketball team.
And the fact you just brought up LaMelo Ball in the same breath as Chris Paul, come on.
I'm talking
Come
just
on.
about passing.
I understand.
I'm talking like you can't take away his passing ability. I mean, he does pass the ball very well. And I know some people will say, well, look at the turnovers he has. Any point guards that are trying to make plays are going to have turnovers. It's just going to happen. Okay? But he consistently has a better assist to turnover ratio, and it turns most of the time into easy points. Sure, and some of them are highlight plays. And if anything, this just, like the addition of Gordon Hayward, I thought made the Hornets really intriguing. The drafting of LaMelo Ball, I think, made them really, really intriguing. Where it's just as, from the outside looking in, it's like, I know this guy, LaMelo, is going to be able to get me the points as to assist me the ball if I'm a free agent, and I have another guy here in Gordon Hayward that can score. If you're the Hornets, all you got to do, though, is just overpay the guy. That's the only problem. I'm just talking like going forward. I don't give a damn what they're going to do this year because me and you both know whoever they would have drafted at 3 is not making them a title contender. They're just not near that at all. So I'm looking for like years down the road, maybe like in the next 2 to 3 years. How long did they sign Hayward there for? 5? Was it a 5 or 6 year contract?
Hunter, the Hornets aren't going to compete. In 5 years, we're going to be sitting here saying the same thing.
Right.
LaMelo's going to be averaging 13 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds.
Well, then if that's
And
the
then-
case, then we can sit here and say, then what's it matter who they draft?
And Terry's going to say, with those numbers, he's the greatest of all time because those are better than Draymond Green numbers.
Well, I will sit here and
Think
say,
about that. If LaMelo goes 13-7, let's go Lonzo.
well, I'll sit here and say that LaMelo's better than Draymond.
Is Lonzo not better than Draymond too?
I
If he's
think-
12-7-7, like that's what I don't get
Like
about the
defensively might be
What's
different, but like
what is their? I know. Before we get to it, what's their sell on Draymond? Is that he guards people in a league that the other teams
he
score,
gets in people's heads.
in a
That's
league
it.
that teams score 110 points in. That's our argument.
Yeah, right.
I want the guy that scores 5 points and 7 rebounds.
the triple single.
I mean, he sucks.
I mean, at least
see, I'll say that about Draymond. I ain't said that about LaMelo.
I know you haven't.
Because LaMelo, if they played 1-on-1, would probably beat Draymond.
I think he would too.
I think Draymond's garbage at basketball. At the actual game of basketball, Draymond is garbage. Like he doesn't play basketball. I don't know what he does. He's out there. There's guys on the team like that.
I'm looking longevity wise at LaMelo, and
That's fine. It may work, but what I'm saying,
that's
I'm
what-
tired of if he scores 15 and throws,
Okay.
if he makes 1 assist,
Yeah.
that makes Sports Center.
Uh-huh.
But Malik Monk on the same team, drafted in a lottery,
right.
could be a comeback story of the year, drops 36 in a win, and we're not talking about his future at all.
Right.
He's what?
I mean,
He's
that's
20
because everybody thought
How
he
old
was
is
done
he?
when he
You know
got.
how old he is?
No, Malik Monk's younger than me.
He's 22.
Yeah, he's younger than me. Yeah.
Like,
He's only been in the league, I think, 2 years, 2 or 3 years.
but don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting there saying Malik's about to drop 30 a game.
Right.
What I'm saying is, as a fan, it's aggravating to see, like, if I watch a ball game and I see our 4th best player, he gets 5 assists.
Yeah.
We tie who do we tie? The Bulls or somebody like that? Who did we go to overtime with?
No, it was another team that was
Like-
not. That was actually supposed to be a good game because they were on. If they would have won that game, it was like three wins against playoff ready or teams that are in the playoffs.
I'll click on it. It was a Monday night.
Yeah, I think it was a few nights ago. I can find it.
Heat.
The Heat, yeah.
They're 70. What's
Heat.
wrong with them?
I don't know what's wrong with Miami. They need to call up Washington, see if they can get Beal.
So, in that game, here's the scores. Devontae Graham, 24. Malik Monk, 36. So they got 60 points from the guards not named LaMelo Ball.
Right.
So what do they need him for?
Then trade him.
I would.
I mean, if that's what you want, then trade him.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
You know who I would trade him for? Anybody that can play power forward because P.J. Washington sucks.
Yeah, PJ Washington's bad.
How about that?
I
said he
I
sucks.
had a guy message me the night because he knew I did sports stuff. He messaged me on Twitter the night that they drafted PJ Washington, and he said, "What do you think about the Hornets drafting PJ Washington?" And I'm not making this up. His name's Matt. I'm not going to say his full name, but his name's Matt. And he messaged me, Hornets fan, and I said, "You drafted Miles Bridges that can shoot a little bit better, but right now, I think Miles Bridges might play better than him, even if he doesn't shoot better than PJ Washington."
Bridges
is just an athletic freak.
He's like, he reminds me of Corey Maggette.
Yes.
Not really reliable at all.
But would be a highlight play every now and then.
Again, I'm going to see more alley-oops from LaMelo Ball
And Miles
Bridges than I'm actually going to see shots from Malik Monk
And Gordon
or
Hayward.
Gordon Hayward this
Right.
year on highlights.
Right. But that's what I'm telling you is like, that's what is
It's terrible.
the NBA is a. Mark Cuban has come out in multiple interviews I've heard
Right,
heard
I know.
him, and he said
I
it's a
understand.
highlight league,
I
and that's
understand
what it is.
Kids, and it's the park ball mentality
Mm-hmm.
to where, let's say I'm at the park playing basketball
Right.
and a guy crosses me up
What?
and he shoots the three and
But
it clangs,
misses the three.
it clangs off the backboard.
Yeah.
But everybody out there, you got shook.
Right.
No, I played good defense because he missed a shot.
Right.
I mean, that's how I look at it. If no matter how it happened,
He missed the shot.
if he misses a shot, I play good defense.
Right.
So that's the whole like, you shake somebody on the football field and then get your clock cleaned by the next guy, or you fumble.
Or you don't make the pass.
I don't know.
Or you don't catch the pass. Yeah. It's
All right, I just wanted to complain about the coverage and the publicity
Yeah.
that LaMelo Ball gets
Listen.
for doing nothing, and when somebody does something for the Hornets, it's complete silence.
Listen, he was just rookie of the month.
You're right. That's cute.
He's a rookie. You'll have to just see.
I think Kwame Brown got that one time.
I'm just saying he's a rookie. I think he's got a little bit more skills than Kwame Brown. You just got to see how it plays out. Because we got to remember now, he is a 6'7" guard, okay? If he can develop and actually get acclimated to the NBA style of play, build-wise, he's ready for it. He's ready. Skill-wise, I think maybe just work on the defense because he's already proven he can assist and at least maybe work on your shot a little bit more.
I think he's playing. He must be playing. I think he must be playing terrible defense.
Probably.
If he's getting the minimum amount of rebounds. And I said that before because he's guarding the other team's guard.
You just said the same thing about when Westbrook was getting triple doubles.
Right.
He was just getting
He's
boards.
not guarding the other guy, and he's getting his rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it in the NBA, like LeBron will push somebody out of the way to get a rebound, a teammate, and they do this stuff all the time. Jason Williams, I told you this is who I think Lonzo is. He's white chocolate, Jason Williams, but 6'7".
Jason Williams is exciting to watch, though. Like, I mean, he wasn't
Again,
great, but he was fun to watch,
I know.
man.
Listen to the stats. 15, 8 and 4. 12, 7 and 3. I know he don't have the rebound numbers, but the scoring and assist is the exact same thing. Fancy passing.
I'm telling you, it's Sean. If
scoring
right
and
now
assist
could be Sean Livingston. Build frame, Sean Livingston. I keep an optimistic look at it and think he could probably average 16 to 17 on a season somewhere at some point.
Oh, fuck.
Not this season. At some point in his career, but not this season.
I know. That's awful.
What, 16 to 17?
Yes. For a starting NBA point guard, that is awful.
16, 17, let's throw 10 assists on there. So he's a walking double-double. As a rookie, he's already got 7.
He got 10. Draymond ain't never got double figures and rebounded.
That's Draymond.
I know.
We're sitting here saying that he's hot garbage.
His brother ain't never improved either. What I'm saying is that who you are, it might be who you are. I mean, look, Hunter, 17 points a game. I need 20 from a starting point guard in today's NBA. It's just, all right, look, there's 50 players averaging 17 points a game in the NBA. Whoever DeAndre Hunter is averaging 17.
DeAndre Hunter played at Virginia. He was a top 5 draft pick.
Don't know him. Jordan Clarkson is averaging 17 points a game. Eric Gordon, Andrew Wiggins, R.J. Barrett, Terry Rozier. Those are in the 17s.
Not saying that those are bad players.
Right. Jamal Murray at 19. Pascal Siakam at 19.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find, look through all your point guards and stuff. Oh, goodness. Dame Lillard, Luka Doncic, Trae Young. Sexton's averaging 24.
Yeah,
Where'd they draft him at?
Colin Sexton was
Like
drafted.
6 or
I think he was
something?
a top 5 pick.
Was he?
Because it was back-to-back years where they went, like how Tom he was complaining about it first, but now he likes it. It was back-to-back years they went like a top 5, top 6 pick on a guard. It was Colin Sexton and then Darius Garland.
He was 22, picked 8th overall.
Okay, so he was 8th.
22.
Still top 10 pick.
He's only 22 years old.
He played at Alabama, too. People wondered why he played at Alabama, but...
All right, Tanner, you made a comment earlier to me about something I want to ask you. Who's your top 4 players in the NBA right now?
LeBron, KD, James Harden, and Kyrie.
My God, 3 of them on the same team. But Kyrie, that's a fun little blip some people may not paid attention to. Since he came back from his little mental health time off, he's been averaging 30.
He's so overrated, it's not even funny. And you just heard that from my friend here. Overrated. Kyrie.
No.
Yes, God, yes.
Kyrie optically is fun to watch. Does it translate to like championships and winning basketball? I don't know, because even his one championship came with LeBron. And and I can sit here and agree that in today's NBA, any team that LeBron's on, I think it can they can go to win the NBA championship at some point. So Kyrie, he's just fun to watch because he is, when they say he's a magician with the ball, he is some of the stuff that he's able to pull off. But It's the same thing that we said about Kemba Walker for years.
Because in my head, I was waiting for you to get finished.
Kemba Walker for years here
up.
with Charlotte. What was it? Chris Broussard said, I think it was a year or two ago, that would we not hold Kyrie above Kemba Walker if Kyrie didn't have that ring? Mm-hmm. Because statistically, they're very similar.
They're almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
This year and last year, Kemba's been going down with his age or whatever. But, the more shots Kemba took, he took one year in his career, he took 20 shots and he averaged 25 a game. Mm-hmm. So Kemba only took 20 once. Kyrie has averaged 20 the last 2 years, and he's averaged 27, 28 a game. Mm-hmm. Kemba Walker's career average, I know careers are, it's hard to do, but 19.8, 5.4, 3.8. Kyrie, 22.6, 5.7, 3.7. So assists and rebounds are exactly the same. Steals, everything is exactly the same. He scores 3 more points a game than Kemba Walker. Or 2.5, really, and that's it. So he gets one more. Well, no, it is 3. So he gets one more bucket. He's super Kemba.
Super Kemba.
Or ball hog Kemba. How about that? He gets 3 more points a game than Kemba. Everything else is the same.
The first 2 you said, I'll give you. LeBron's still playing at an extremely high level at his age. 100%. Kevin Durant, I would put above LeBron James right now if I had to go 1-2. But that's just because of his age. And Kevin Durant, numbers-wise, is putting up eerily similar numbers to his MVP season that he had in Oklahoma City. So I think he could be one of the early favorites for MVP.
Durant, breaking news.
Uh-huh.
I know it's not really breaking, but before this season, he hadn't been in front of him. He has now overtaken LeBron James in career average.
Points.
Mm-hmm. So Kevin Durant now occupies the number 4 spot, all-time NBA career average. Jordan 1, Chamberlain 2, Elgin Baylor 3, Kevin Durant 4, LeBron 5, Jerry West 6, 7, Allen Iverson 8, Bob Pettit 9, Oscar Robertson, and 10, James Harden. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about something this morning, and I was Andre's not here today, and I was wanting to ask him. And I know this might, shock you guys or shock players. Let's say Tanner. I'm gonna give you, Tanner, to take 5 starting lineup, your best starting lineup from today's or even the past 5 years NBA, however you want to do it, but today's players mostly. Would it be Steph at point, KD and LeBron?
Ooh. No. I wouldn't put Steph at point.
Who would you put at point?
Kyrie.
Did we not just tell you that he is super Kemba?
I tell you what. It would be tough for me at the point guard position not to take Steph.
He's on the
but
all-time top 4.
I will say this. If I'm talking about guys that
he might be the best point guard of all time.
Are you talking park? So we're talking going to the park, right? I probably won't take Steph.
No. There's refs.
If I have LeBron, I'm taking Kyrie.
Okay.
Well, LeBron will kick it to him in the corner. What? Anyway, what?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying
well, he didn't go with what I thought he was going to go. So let me not get to that. What my point was going to be on it is that a lot of people most people is going to take Steph at the point,
mm-hmm.
and then whatever you put after that. Let's say
because I'm trying to think of a 2 guard that I would put today, because like we said Monday, it's really positionless now. They just put him as guard. Mm-hmm. So what, like CJ McCollum maybe? I mean, he's a good 2 guard. James Harden, yeah, well, okay, I would probably put him at the 2. Mm-hmm. The reason why I was having questions on would I take Steph is because I love Steph to death and think Steph is amazing. I do love me some Damian Lillard. Good God, I love watching Dame play.
Okay, so Kyrie's super Kemba.
Yeah.
Steph is super Dame. You know it.
I know it. I know Steph Curry is the more consistent 3-point shooter, but man, that's a personal thing because I remember watching Portland's run that they made not last year but the year prior in the playoffs when Damian Lillard, and not to mention the bubble Damian Lillard I saw last year where he was almost averaging 35 a game. I was.
If you
oh
think,
my God.
all right, let me put it this way: if you not counting Kevin Durant years, but if you think Dame is close to Steph. Have they not had better rosters than the Warriors?
Who, Portland?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Deeper. I'm talking about 7, 8 guys. Golden State runs 4 guys out there and 12 scrubs.
So you said not counting the Kevin Durant years?
Right, not counting Kevin Durant.
'Cause I
Those
had to
teams are
say-
impossible. You can't deal with that. And then the other day they said Harden, Durant, and Irvin is the best 3 scoring guards team or whatever. And I'm like, I would much rather have Steph, Clay, and Kevin because
they at least gonna pass.
right. You got that.
And Clay is an underrated defensive player.
What's funny about me building Steph up for you guys is I was actually going to tear him down a little bit, but y'all didn't do what I wanted you to.
Well, well, that's just because, don't get me wrong, I love Steph, and I think Steph, he doesn't get nearly as enough credit as he deserves. But if I'm just talking like me watching someone play, I really enjoy watching Damian Lillard.
Let me put
more
Steph
than
in perspective for you, okay? Only 3 point guards in the history of the NBA have led their team in scoring and won a championship, and they all did it one time. Steph is one of them. Steph, Magic, and Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah only did it once. Joe Dumars led it the second year. So it's only happened 3 times in the history of the game. I'm talking 70, 55. I don't know how many.
Dang, now you got me sitting here thinking, did Portland really have better teams? Because Aldridge was only there for a minute.
Ours was there like 9 years.
No, I'm talking with Dame.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking with Damian Lillard. C.J. McCollum is not better than Klay Thompson, but he's good. Melo is washed now, but he can still play. The only position that would probably be better is Nurkic.
Big men. Gotta be
Big
better
man,
than-
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wesley Matthews was there for a minute, but then now I think he's with Milwaukee, I think.
So on that list, Tanner, is Magic, Steph, and Isaiah. The 3 who's only ever done it. And the other one is Oscar Robertson, who before Westbrook was the only person that's ever averaged a triple-double. Now, not only are that, so then you look at that. Isaiah might be the best passer we've ever had. Steph might be the best shooter. And Isaiah's probably the best little guard. Everybody don't put this. He was like a winning, put it this way, a winning Chris Paul. Is that a good way?
And see,
for you
that
guys
was
to-
somebody that was tough for me to not put on the list either. When you said you want 5 guys from the league that you want to take to play a game or whatever, Chris Paul, I mean, he wins. Like he might not
doesn't
win.
win.
He might not win chips, but like
wins
where
regular season games.
where he goes,
Absolutely.
yes, he wins.
Absolutely.
Think about it. Okay,
He takes those way more importantly than most
right.
guys.
OKC was thinking about going through a rebuild when they traded for him because they got rid of Westbrook and everybody that was their cornerstone was finally out. And guess what? They got in the playoffs at like the 4th or 5th seed. I mean, and now he's with the Suns, and the Suns are like the 4th or 5th seed. So it's crazy.
The reason I brought up the Steph stuff earlier is
Go ahead, tear him down. I'll let you.
I don't want to tear him down. I was kind of going to build. I was going to build someone else up. Is what I was going to do. And who that was Allen Iverson. If he had a championship on his resume, he would be in that top 4, and we'd have already kicked Oscar or Isaiah Thomas off.
Definitely.
Because when I say 1-on-1, if we're going, if we're playing in a game, Steph can outshoot threes. But in the game, I think Iverson
shakes
may be
everybody.
the best matchup / one of the hardest for Steph to deal with.
Steph can't stay in front of
Let
Iverson.
me put this. Yeah. Nobody can stand in front of Iverson. Now, if Iverson's cold, but again, what I was going to say, we're having an all-star game here, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of these, Iverson was MVP a lot of these all-star games.
Right.
Iverson was the leading scorer in the Olympics on these teams, okay? He's also, where's the all-time career scores? He's 7th. 7th all-time leading scorer, guys. Allen Iverson, they got him listed at 6 foot 165. Everybody that's ever met him says he's under 6 foot. So we got the 7th all-time leading scorer per game, and I can't find a spot for him on the all-time place because of what Magic, Steph, and Isaiah did. Nobody else has ever done. It's not even.
So I guess
you can't even have that discussion.
You put him under point guard then. You won't count his shooting guard days.
Not at 6 foot, but he played.
Well, right.
He played both. You know how Steph plays both. Really, Steph don't bring the ball up every damn play.
No.
But here's what works, and it's a defensive thing. So it's kind of like Magic Johnson. So let's say Magic is the opposite of what they had to do. So Magic was 6'9". He couldn't guard the little guards, right?
They're too fast.
So Byron Scott guarded the little guys, and he guarded the shooting guard. So when Philly made the finals, they ended up putting Aaron McKie and Eric Snow at point guard, who are both 6'4", so they could guard the shooting guards. but
then the
still,
matchup problem.
But and here's a quote. It's not an exact quote, but it's kind of something Iverson said one time. He said, "We only got a 24-second shot clock. If I bring the ball up and don't find my shot, and I pass it, and my teammate passes to somebody else, and then it gets up back to my hands, well, more than likely, I've got the ball for less than 10 seconds now, and I need to shoot the damn ball." And so that was their offense. Was he brought it up, kind of looked for it,
Right.
and then pass it around and get it back to him. Okay, they would get the ball. You know how Steph would give the ball up and go run for a spot on the three? Iverson did the same thing, but he wasn't looking for the three. He was cutting to the basket.
Basket.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's the thing.
Steph does that all the time. You'll see Steph. He might bring the ball up and literally hand it off at the top of the key, and
then
he
runs
will
around.
run a lap and a half around just to find his open
That's
spot.
Allen Iverson, but looking for
A 3-point shot.
or layups and stuff like that. So the reason I said that I was hoping Andre was going to be down here because I was wanting him to go ahead and walk down here. I'm like I was going to say, Andre, 1-on-1, not accomplishments. Who you got, Iverson or Steph? And I know what he's going to say. He's going to say Iverson, and that's what's hard about when you're talking about this, is because you can't take one of those three off because they're the only one that's ever done it. Like those guys led championships. Point guards don't do that. And they did. So Iverson won a game. They gave him all the credit when they won a game against Shaq and him. But honestly, as far as rosters, those weren't the same. It was like LeBron coming out of the East. This isn't nobody in the East.
Well, East has been down probably for 15, 20 years.
I think teams did a bad job, or the Sixers did a bad job finding a match
To go with Iverson.
You needed an efficient. You needed
Iverson
Klay
got
Thompson.
young Iggy at one point, but
He had Stackhouse. It's more of a, and all of those guys are volume shooters instead of. He needed efficient guys around him. He needed Steve.
He needed
Klay Thompson's.
Yeah,
is what
he needed Klay.
all around him.
because see, Clay, even though Clay can be volume, it's efficient.
All
Like,
right.
for God's sakes, what was he scored 40-something points on 11 dribbles?
Oh, that's so stupid.
stupid. So stupid.
All right, now let's move on. You got anything else in basketball?
No, I hate to tell people, as a sports fan, I'm not watching the NBA right now. I'm not. It's just like you said the other day, Monday, until at least the All-Star break, it looks like nobody really gives a shit. Like nobody tries.
The Pistons beat the Lakers by 15, and people want to tell me I'm supposed to pay attention to
that.
36-point Malik Monk game.
No defense whatsoever.
Yeah, well, that's been a trend for maybe the last 10 years.
I did see a tweet going out yesterday about it got on Jordan about how he wouldn't score 18 points a game. He would be he'd be worse than DeMar DeRozan in today's game.
You know who said that?
Because it was on. I tell you where I saw it. It was on the thing you retweeted about the shot chart.
Really?
They said he couldn't take three, so he'd only average 18 a game.
I'm sorry, they didn't.
He scored 30 a game shooting twos. That's what people don't get. Those were with twos. That's without having to shoot threes.
Right.
So if he got to shoot threes or did shoot threes,
and developed a more consistent 3-point shot, what, you think he's just going to drop almost 50% of the points he scored?
it's simple math. So if you take 6 shots, okay, on average he makes 3 of them on the foot. So that's 6 points.
Right.
And if he shot 2 of 6 from 3, which he shot 2% anyway from 3 without practicing
It's
it all
already
the damn
6
time.
points.
It's already the 6. I was going to hit one more, and he's got 3 more points a game.
Right.
Like, this isn't.
It's people stupid. People are finding, listen, my generation, if they aren't like me that agree and love Michael Jordan to death, find a way to diminish that he couldn't play, or any player couldn't play in today's game. I told you about.
Every time they say that, just say, so Shaq couldn't play.
I told
Shaq
you
couldn't
about
play.
the day that I was on a Microsoft Teams call in my class, and we started talking about today's basketball and whatnot, and somebody had the audacity to tell me that guys in the 90s couldn't play today.
That was one of the comments, that they were garbage men and stuff, and I'm like, and it makes you mad.
I'm sorry,
It's like,
they're garbage men. Was this not their full-time job? It wasn't a part-time job.
At no point in the last 20 years have we raised the goals to 11 feet. Everybody's still 6'8" on average.
Right.
Everybody still was at 210 on average.
Like he told me, he said Jordan beat basically the equip. I don't know what the word he used, but it was like calling them garbage men in the finals. I said, you mean to tell me Charles Barkley, Kemp, and Peyton and Malone and Stockton are garbage men.
Kemp was like, he's Blake Griffin. If people want to know what Kemp was like,
I just don't
that's the best way.
Like, I don't understand it. Act like YouTube isn't a thing and you can't go back and watch highlights.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Vince Carter wasn't dunking. Dominique Wilkins wasn't dunking in the 80s. That's the stuff they do. Like, they weren't dunking. All right, I want to look up a couple.
Clyde didn't. They're not all Hall of Famers that he beat. I'm sorry that we just let anybody in.
Every single one of them.
Every single one of them.
Let's see if I can find some. I did want to say something about Wilt Chamberlain. I was gonna try to find. There was a story about him winning a high jump. And something.
I have heard that. I have heard that before. Seriously, about how he was actually like a freak athlete.
Oh yeah, and plus he said he slept with over 10,000 women. That was his number.
Well,
he said over 10,000.
Who was that?
Wilt Chamberlain.
What a man.
That was this guy.
What a man.
I mean, and you ask Wilt, you go look on YouTube, Hunter, for Wilt's comments, and like he was commenting on 90s and players, like,
yeah,
and he was like, "Oh, I'll still score 50." He did. Like Hunter. Okay, let's say. Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
At one time, his vertical jump was over 48 inches.
7'1". Yeah. Jesus.
I'm gonna look up something for that.
How many of those 10,000 women had his kids though?
We ain't gonna talk about that. I don't think there's been anything to talk about that. Nah.
Oh god. Let's see. I'm gonna look up Giannis's vertical jump. See what it says. 40 inches. Giannis is 40 inches.
Oh, he's a Greek freak for a reason.
Wilt Chamberlain was 48. It says plus. It doesn't even say 48 exactly, Hunter. It says 48 plus. 7'1", 40. You know how many inches 48 is, Tanner?
A lot.
4 feet.
4
I
feet.
was wondering if anybody was going to say that.
Yeah, that's a normal answer. That's a lot. Yeah, someone could just lose it.
That's a lot.
That's a small child. That's a 4-foot child. He just clears them standing straight up.
He said,
imagine if you saw him just walking and jump a kid in the streets.
Like, I want you to think about that. When I was in high school, I thought it was really hot shit that I could at least have a 34 or 35 inch vertical.
He won the high jump.
This dude is jumping literally a whole 10,
Hunter.
almost 12 inches higher.
Hunter.
Jesus.
Wait till I show you this. You're not going to believe it. You're just really not. This is Wilt Chamberlain doing the high jump. Face first.
People do it backwards.
Look at him. He's doing it face first. And that's his winning jump in the Big 8 championship for Kansas.
Freak.
High jump. Face first. He dove over it. he put his hands together and just dove.
Everybody else was doing it. He said, "Hold my beer. Watch this."
I got to find. All right, click off that. I'm gonna find the exact
man.
number that he won that high jump with.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
But that's what I mean. Like, the thing about talking about
that bigger, faster,
athletes,
stronger athletes,
and that's why I'm like, we're all the same people. This race, this human race, hasn't got any bigger.
Like we just
in the last 20 years. Like
think about it. Yeah, think about it. The size. Why are you looking at my Chipper Jones picture? Don't look at that. Anyways,
that's a good one.
It goes to oh God, what was I gonna say? The whole notion of bigger, faster, stronger. That's not the case. The only reason we are possibly faster and stronger is just because of the advancements we've made in training. Like, think about it.
I think
I can't argue that at all.
Those guys still played 82 games, and the guys now don't.
Right. I can't argue that at all. But all I can say is, okay, so this is what we're getting out of players today with all of these enhancements in training. Could you have imagined if that was around 20 years ago or that kind of training 20 or 30 years ago, how those players would be. Like, I just can't. Like, can you imagine if Michael Jordan had the same mentality as LeBron James and Tom Brady do on taking care of their bodies? Think about it. He loved
in the league.
I mean, he did for a long time, but what was it? He enjoyed it smoking cigars and drinking beers. He'd do it after games. He loved a good bread meat steak. It's just, if he was that committed to his health, think about the longevity he would have had, besides him essentially losing his love for the game and retiring for the first time.
All right, Hunter. In the Big 8 Conference track and field tournament, he won the 100 meters with a 10.9. Wilt Chamberlain won the 100 meters with a 10.9. 7'1". Then,
He was just stretching
then
his
while he
legs.
was bored, he won the shot put at throwing at 56 feet, and he triple jumped more than 50 feet, winning gold and everything. It's bigger, faster, stronger. These guys today.
Bigger, faster, stronger.
With Will. Oh god, I mean, he did play with the Globetrotters. He didn't play a senior season at Kansas to play with the Harlem Globetrotters. He was really big into volleyball too. He founded the International Volleyball Association in 1974 and was the president for a year. The following year, the All-Star game was televised because he played in it. He was the MVP of the game. So there's him, a picture of him playing volleyball. Wouldn't that suck? When you walk in the court, there's Wilt Chamberlain. 7'1". And here's the thing. People, let me put the 48-inch vertical in perspective. I found an article. That's number 1 all the time. You know who's number 2?
Michael.
No, he's 3.
Who's 2?
Daryl Griffith. You ever heard of him?
No.
I hadn't either. Yes, I have. Dr. Duncanstein was his name.
Damn,
that
like
now.
I know that. I thought you were about to look at me and say that's Dr. J.
No.
I'm like, no, that's Julius Irving.
Is that
damn
not a
it.
cool nickname, though?
Dr.
What do you
Duncanstein,
think?
that is
That would be
kinda
a cool rap name. Dr. Duncanstein. No?
Nope, not changing my rap name ever.
I didn't ask you to change it. I said it would be cool.
No.
If you meet somebody on the street and be like, hey,
What
your
up?
name,
My
I got
name is
one for you.
Dr. Duncanstein.
Right.
That'd be hard to rhyme.
Yeah.
Eminem could do it.
I just did it, and I didn't even try.
I mean, Frankenstein.
No, I just did it, and I didn't even try. I said Dr. Duncanstein. That would be hard to rhyme.
He did.
I did, and I didn't even try.
You're a lyrical
Look at that.
genius.
Look at that. Look at
All
that.
right, so I'm gonna
Sign me, damn it.
So I'm gonna hey,
No.
pull up my internet here, Tanner.
No.
I'm gonna pull it up so people can see. This is a good one. So Wilt Chamberlain's at 48 inches.
This is a freak.
It's
Hey,
down here that says internet. Kevin 2 cams down. Or you can do that one. But
That's fine.
all right, Wilt Chamberlain, 48 inches is his vertical leap. That's just ridiculous. Jordan was third, 46 inches. So if you're 7'1" and you jump 4 feet,
Shit.
that puts your head at 11 foot. If you're 6'6" and jump 4 feet,
That's 10.
you're at 10 foot. So Jordan's head would get to the rim on a vertical.
Yeah.
Wilt's would be at the top of the box.
It's ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous.
He could drop step and put his chin on the rim
He could drop step.
and
Yeah.
put his chin on the rim.
Yeah. He could drop step and probably put a quarter on the top of it.
Well, they used to say David Thompson could do that.
Yeah.
They said he changed $1 one time. He jumped up, pulled
Pulled
the
the
dollar
dollar
off,
off.
and set the quarters on. So Zach Levine 4.
Dang, that boy's got bunnies. He does. Good God, when he was
So
dunking
think
at
about-
UCLA, holy shit.
Levine's dunking that you guys see today. That's like it was. I mean, really, it's kind of like Russell
Right.
Jordan. But just man, Jason Richardson, James White, and Spud Webb at 46 inches.
Little Spud.
Spud Webb at 46 inches plus 5'7" Hunter is what? He's under 10 foot.
Yeah.
So look
He's
at
only like 9 foot.
Oh, he's dunking that ball right there,
Yeah.
and his head is 1.5 feet under it. Spud at 46 inches could dunk. He won the dunk contest, won 2 actually.
Nate Robinson won 2.
He won 3.
He won 3?
Yep.
Oh, I thought he only won 2. I only remember 2 of them.
I think it was 3.
Was it 3?
It was 3.
Nate Robinson was.
Yeah,
I think he was. I think he
5'9".
was. Yeah, he was barely underneath 6 foot.
Spud's 5'6". Quick story on Spud Webb. You know these starting lineups I got.
Mm-hmm.
We went to a store one time, and used to go to the stores and say you'd go Walmart, Target, whatever. They'd have a whole aisle.
Right.
And when I mean like you go to the store now, and you'll have like an aisle divided into like 4 sections, like Star Wars, Batman, whatever. The whole aisle,
right.
Starting lineups. And we went and won this one time. And this guy was collecting them. And he had 2 buggies, just shoving shit in his buggy. And you know, we're kids, we can buy one.
Right.
And so mom's like, go pick one out. Zach picks out a David Robinson.
Okay.
In a warm up jersey. Sweet. And I wanted one too. He was he was my favorite player besides Jordan then. And I saw one, and Zach goes, "There's one," and I went to get it, and the man grabbed it. I'll never forget that my whole life is seeing it and walking towards it and seeing him stick his hand out and grabbing it and throwing it in his buggy. And I think I ended up with one at one point, but the Spud Webb, what's bad about it is I ended up buying a Spud Webb instead. The David Robinson for 15 years was worth $50 to $75.
Jeez.
And the Spud was never worth anything, and I opened it and played with it. But I had a Spud Webb.
Yeah.
Little starting lineup. I was so mad.
It's so crazy.
The one they never made a Muggsy Bogues starting lineup.
They never
Can't
did.
believe that. The most popular one. They had the first year was Rex Chapman, Kelly Tripucka, and Dale Curry.
Okay.
And I've got those.
Yeah.
But they never made a Muggsy.
They never made an LJ.
I got an LJ and Alonzo.
Okay.
I got them both, but I don't have a Muggsy.
Dang. It's crazy to look back at things
Shannon Brown
and just see how over the years for collectors, because you know the collectors, they'll collect anything, they don't care, and so they dictate the market. It's crazy to see what some people are willing to pay for stuff like that. Like you said, at the time that toy was probably $3 or $4 maybe a little bit more.
They were between 5 and 10 depending on which store.
Okay, well, fine.
So like Walmart or Target could sell them at 6 or 7, and like KB's Toys would do it at 8.
But it's still 9. From that price to $70 to $80 now.
Right.
I mean, you're making a profit regardless.
Right.
If you held on to it, obviously, and just didn't break it or kept it sealed. It's crazy to look at stuff like that.
Muggsy Bogues, 44.3, slightly ahead of David Thompson. David Skywalker Thompson went to high school at Tanner Howard here.
Not with him.
Not with me.
Do you have a 44-inch vertical?
No.
Do they not teach everybody at Crest that?
No.
That's something you should sign up for and ask. Like, why are we not teaching me this? David Thompson could jump 44 inches. Why can't I? Thompson at 44 inches is tied with Andrew Wiggins in today's game.
I thought David Thompson's would be a little bit higher.
44 is quite a bit. It's the same as
it's a lot, but
it's the same as your hero, LeBron James, Harold Miner, D. Brown, Deshaun Stevenson, all at 44. There's Nate. 43 and 0.5. Just what you was asking about. Dr. J at 43. Vince Carter at 43.
What?
You know, I'm surprised it's lower than a lot of them. But that's just because he might be one of the funnest in-game dunkers I've ever seen.
Right.
And I know you don't necessarily have to rely on straight vert there. But my God.
In-game creativity, yes. Dunk contest creativity, yes. Like he's the best dunker ever. And if I was going to... Jordan, I would say was...
Jordan is a great in-game dunker.
That's it. He was so exceptional at dunking in the game on people, getting and ones. And the thing about Vince and why that's surprising when people say, well he's short, he gets up less. He's got long arms. That's one thing that helps. His bounce, getting up so quick, is another thing. But one thing that is immeasurable, and I'll never be able to explain to people, and we don't have a way to measure it, I guess, or what. But I wish they could. Is hang time.
Oh yeah, he just hangs.
I don't understand how some people just like go watch videos. And people are like, well, I'm going to go watch some Jordan highlights. I'm going to watch Duncan or the best shots. Watch his jumpers. When he takes a shot, he'll jump. And the best one ever is, I tell you what,
You talking about Vince?
No, Jordan.
Oh, Jordan. You
The-
talking about the
shot to win the title.
against Cleveland? Or no,
this
that
right
was.
here. This is what I want to show.
Oh, you're talking about in college.
Just yeah, well,
I was
this
talking
shot
about.
period.
I was talking about the shot that the
in
one against Cleveland.
Right. He hung in the air.
Yes.
And
For the Eastern Conference Championship.
what I would say he's the best at ever. Like he's obviously not the best shooter ever. Not probably best passer or dribbler
I think it's
ever.
body control.
Is that right there? Is that when he went up in the air, he was going to stay up in the air. He would jump before you and land after you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand how that is, how that works. Like, it's the one thing where you hit somebody and they go down and out and you kind of still float and then let go. He was the master at that. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen someone do is take contact and then get their shot off. And then what I mean, looking at the shot, look how much higher he is than the guard guarding him right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a jump shot. And
His
he's
knees
2
are
feet off the ground.
almost at his head.
Like, Klay Thompson don't even barely leave the ground when he shoots. And Jordan, look at that. So if you're going to if you're going to contend with that, you got to be able to at least get to 9 feet.
Like, I want you to think
That's
about
what's
that.
hard with Durant.
That jump shot is so crazy. Kevin Durant jumps, but Dirk never did. Dirk stayed on his feet. and
Rasheed
had to
Wallace
lean.
didn't have to. He shot behind his head. Bird didn't leave his feet. Bird shot behind. Those guys shot behind their heads, those 6'10", 6'11 guys. But look how much Jordan's form right there, Hunter, is the most is perfect. Like, if Dean Smith was going to draw, like, that's how you're supposed to hold a basketball. That's not MKG. Put it that way.
No.
Put that right there.
That's not
MKG
Lonzo
couldn't
when he
do
first
that.
came in the league. No.
But what I mean by he's so high, and you make contact with him, and then he still hangs there longer than you. And I don't understand hang time, because you can look at that right there and see other people can jump almost as high as him or just as high as him, but he stayed up longer. The Vince Carter thing, that one right there, okay. Vince Carter, where's he at?
Who's down there?
43.
Yeah, 43.
Okay. Is Nate Robinson a better dunker than Carter? He
No,
jumps higher than him.
No.
No.
Is LeBron, Deshaun Stevenson, D. Miller, Harold Miner,
No.
Andrew Wiggins, Muggsy Bogues, Shannon Brown, are any of them better dunkers than him?
No.
No.
It's the hang
And
time and the length.
Even Zach LaVine winning dunk contest. I mean, there's nothing like that dunk contest put on by Vince Carter. And to go to your point about hang time, oh God, it was during Vince Carter's dunk contest whenever the hang time was almost at its peak. It was a dunk where I think he was coming from baseline and basically with one hand windmilled it, but he just hung there in midair forever. And it was the one where he came down, looked at the camera, and was like, "It's over.
Right,
it's over."
it's
I was like, he just floats.
Never seen that dunk before in my life. The reverse windmill is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We used to, we played at my house all the time on a dunk goal, and just trying. You can't even.
You can't hardly spin your hand. Like, you're not high enough, long enough to have that full rotation come fast enough.
We tried every dunk in the world we could do. Nobody could do that dunk.
Right.
Because it's the reverse windmill is it's reverse physics. Like, your arm isn't supposed to spin that way when you go that way. And that's what was so weird about it. But yeah, these verticals, they're very interesting to me. The Wilt, the whole faster, stronger thing. Bring up Wilt Chamberlain anytime. And just be like, all right, guys, let's talk Wilt Chamberlain, let's talk Shaq, and then you tell me about LeBron being 3 more inches taller and somebody makes him better basketball player.
Right.
All right, so there's our basketball today. I got Malik Monk and Wilt Chamberlain in here and all kinds of things. All right, I want to talk a couple other things.
Go ahead.
And a couple of them are going to be kind of quick. First of all,
Okay.
I want to talk about the cheating that happened on the PGA Tour this weekend. Did you see
Patrick Reed.
Did you see it or know what happened?
I didn't
or know what's going on?
see it.
Okay.
All I've heard, the key word I have heard is divot.
Yes.
That is the key word I have heard. Or like indention, wherever the ball hit.
Divot. Indention's not a golf term.
So divot.
Yeah,
Okay, that's the word I've been hearing is divot.
So what was going on is that there was wet grounds from the rains, okay? So the rule was if your ball, and it's called plugging. If your ball plugs and doesn't bounce, you can
put it there.
You can redrop or place somewhere else.
Okay.
Within the rules of the game, of course. So basically, if the ball goes in the ground, stuck in the ground
Yeah.
on us. But if it bounces,
You got to play it.
you got to play it. So Reed was in a fairway bunker, and he hooks one left of the green. Video clearly shows the ball bounced.
Mm-hmm.
So there's almost no way it plugged. Like a bouncing ball doesn't plug.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So he's in the rough,
Right.
and he goes over to it. And instead of asking an official immediately for a ruling, he just picks his
does
ball
it.
up.
He just does it and drops it.
Right. Which whether or not, let's say that's the rule. Well, whatever the rule is, and he thought he could do that. Under no circumstances in the history of golf do I believe I've ever seen
Someone just pick up their...
someone do something before talking to an official. You know,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Without talking to the official. Like, people usually just don't. You don't move. First of all, you definitely don't move your fucking ball.
You leave it there and then talk.
I have never seen that. I've never seen in my life a player move his ball without, basically without reason, without talking to an official. So, like, on the 17th green, Hunter, he set his ball down. And, the greens are supposed to be flat, but when people walk and there's holes in the ground, there's nuances to the green. So he set his ball down with his mark, and he pulled his mark out, and the ball moved. Okay? He immediately called an official over. Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And the rule is, once you've marked your ball, that's your position. If that ball moves, you have to go back to that. So you have to try to remember where your ball was marked and then redo it. So the official came on the green, made him remark his ball, and then try to set it until the ball quit moving. And so he knew that. He obviously knows. I would never in my life, even if I knew that ball was plugged, I wouldn't move it without two things. One, asking the guy I'm playing against, hey, can you come look at this, make sure this, so we're good. That's most of the time that's what golf rules are. Like, is this playable? Is this not? What do you think? And you're supposed to call it on yourself. That's what's weird about the PGA that I don't get. They have the money to pay people to be officials. You know, like that NASCAR has different officials at different tracks.
Yeah.
PGA could easily do that. And they shit people. They take volunteers. Like, if you see people working at a golf tournament, 90% of them are volunteers. They're not actually getting paid, which is it's kind of weird how they do that. So I don't understand why you can't have paid officials on every hole or in each group. I mean, you need 25 people. You already got people out there. But anyway, he didn't ask for it. So he walks over to Hunter, picks his ball up, goes, places it. Then he got the official. So
he got away.
You obviously were cheating.
He got away with it.
Because the official couldn't look over at the actual ball.
Spot.
And what
because you've moved it.
So he goes back over there, and the official's like, what happened? He's like, well, I moved it from here because it was plugged. And he starts pointing in the grass and showing him the spot. And the official's like, well, I can't really tell anything because the ball's not there. And they end up letting him go with it.
Right.
And the replay clearly shows the ball bounced. Clearly shows that he moved it with that before he talked to an official. Then he's like, oh, I should talk to an official. And he did. But it was after the ball had moved. So it is the most obvious, clear-cut cheating I've ever seen on a PGA. And here's what's funny about it, Hunter. I sat down to eat. It was Saturday afternoon, and I sat down. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sat down in my living room, turned the TV on, and within 5 minutes that happened. I saw the most controversial thing. I watched TV for 25 minutes of that golf tournament, and I saw the most controversial thing immediately. And as soon as he did it, I started screaming at the TV. I didn't care, but you can't do that.
No.
And
well, Patrick Reed was already people don't like him.
He's already done a lot of this.
He's like the black sheep of the PGA Tour.
Yes,
people do not.
He does a lot of this.
Patrick Reed at all. They think he's pompous. They think he's a know-it-all, kind of brash. And then this happens. Way to try and clean your image up a little bit, dude. Way to try and act like. This is what I don't understand. At least from his side. If you're gonna cheat, make sure there's not cameras on you. These are televised events. There are cameras everywhere.
I'm wondering if his partner asked him about the ruling, and that's why they end up getting the official. Because it's just weird to me that if you're trying to cheat and you know the official's not going to let you, you have to move that ball.
Yeah.
Before he looks at it. And then there is no arguing about it. And then they let him go. I'm going to read some of this real quick. Patrick, this was last year. He hit some sand in a bunker, and people were upset. He's clearly one of these people that's like this. And in golf, one stroke can mean a difference, and most penalties are 2 strokes, especially in a field of 50 people. Like one stroke is going to make a difference.
And especially where it's like a game where you have cuts as well. Like like think about it. Like him doing that could be the difference between him getting cut or one guy is getting cut out. Right. Yeah. It'd be different at the end of the day if nobody got cut. But no, it'd be a difference between him being able to golf on Sunday and Joe Blow over here not being able to golf on Sunday.
I'm trying to find some other ones. He says Reed claimed that neither he or his playing partners saw the ball bounce, and they asked a tournament official whether she had seen the ball bounce. She was on TV saying she did not, but instead of waiting for a rules official to attend and confirm his ball, quickly marked the ball. He marked the ball and removed his ball, taking his free drop in the shorter grass. I'm trying to find some of the other things he's been. And then he started complaining about Rory McIlroy. Yeah. Saying he did the same thing.
Oh, did he?
No, well, even if he
deflection.
Did. So either way, it's a penalty, right?
Right. It's deflection.
Oh God. Let's see. I'm trying to find some of the other things he's done, but I'm just. This one was cheating. Flat out.
Blatant.
I've just never seen
cameras got it
like that. It said, you put Patrick Reed cheating. You go, here's the titles of the articles, Hunter.
Yeah.
Patrick Reed's rival is not happy after another PGA cheating scandal. Patrick Reed cheating. Patrick Reed lands another PGA Tours controversy.
Yeah.
Rival dragged into Patrick Reed cheating fury. Reed embroiled in another cheating scandal. Patrick Reed will never stop cheating as long as they let him.
Right.
Oh, let's see.
That's
well. Look, here's
what I can't get over is so obviously, if I'm not mistaken, a few years back there was a controversy in golf, and they overturned it because they had someone call in who saw what happened on television, and they overturned it, and there ended up being a penalty on the guy, or he was DQ'd, or I can't quite remember what it was. So what I don't understand is how golf, like you said, was able to see this on video. Mm-hmm. Like they had proof.
Mm-hmm. That the ball bounced.
And not call up somebody and say, at least on the tour, and say, we've got a little bit of shenanigans going on right here, and we've got the proof. So this needs to go against Patrick Reed. Obviously, now that it's become so controversial, because see, this is what I'm trying to.
Sorry, people watching it. Did you see that?
No.
So I'm watching Reed mess around in the bunker. Watch what he did. He just took a practice shot away from it. Like, you can't do that. You can't even touch the sand. You can't walk. You can't use it as a cane. Mm-hmm. You can't even use so watch the. I was trying to figure out what he was doing, and I thought he was just barely touching it. But damn, he walks over and takes a full swing on the other side of the bush. Watch this. Looks at his ball. You know what? I'm going to back up over here behind the bush. Lay my club down in the dirt. That's as blatant cheating as it gets. There's no question about that. That's 2 strokes.
I get that. I'm just saying. With this in particular.
Yeah. You're saying, how did they not catch it? Or
how could they get it right? Right. Well, if somebody.
The PGA saying that it's right because they can't prove that it wasn't embedded because he picked the ball up. But they should. But again,
what I'm saying is that shows that it
did bounce.
It bounced.
Right. Obviously.
Obviously, embedded means it hits and it sticks.
Yeah.
It sticks, but it's not. It bounced. But you want to know what I'm thinking as well? Maybe the reason that the PGA isn't really wanting to investigate this more is because look at it. Look at what we're doing.
Look at that meme. My caddy said that lie is terrible, and I was like, not for long, bro.
But you know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to get at is what me and you are doing right now, and what a lot of other people are doing is just talking about it. And it's given golf. Golf is now a topic point because we're talking about this Patrick Reed shenanigans. And listen, what's the saying?
Every golfer knows, Hunter.
What's the saying? It's like any publicity is good publicity.
No, yeah.
Whether it's good or bad or something like that. They don't care. PGA's just like they're talking about us right now.
They just wish Tiger was good.
They wish Tiger and Rory was good again. Rory's falling off the deep end. Now they got to go with womanizer Thomas over here. Dustin Johnson.
Man, this Patrick Reed stuff, like, he's just straight cheating. And you got to call it. You got to
Well, I will
hitting
say
out
this.
of the dirt's definitely cheating.
So the PGA coming out,
you can't move a ball.
The PGA coming out and saying that it's fine and we're not going to do anything about it. It's a bad look. That's just as bad of a look as Manfred saying it's just a hunk of metal that these baseball teams are playing for. Over the whole Astros cheating scandal. It's just as bad because it's essentially them saying, I really don't give a shit. That's what it is.
All it cares about
if that's the case,
ratings.
if that's the case, we should see it again in the next tournament. I want to see somebody else not named Patrick Reed do it. And say, hey, because then Patrick Reed they can use the excuse Patrick Reed did. Well, Rory McIlroy did it. Well, Patrick Reed did it, so I can do it.
All right, Hunter.
Horseshit.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. No.
That is the most exciting news I've had all week.
All right, well, go ahead and start talking. I'll bust your bubble, but go ahead.
Don't bust my bubble. EA Sports. It's in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, too many gamers and sports fans know what that means. You're getting ready to play an EA football game, probably, or just an EA game in general. Well, NCAA football is coming back. The only asterisk I put next to that is I don't know when, but it's coming.
I thought they said
back.
2022.
Did they say 2022?
Yeah.
I did not see a date. But if it is 2022, I'm excited regardless. I'm excited regardless. They stopped making this game in 2013. It has been a 7 to 8 year hiatus. I am ready for this game to come back.
What was last year?
It's NCAA 14, but you know how they do it. It's like
that was in 13.
Yeah, it'll be like 2013, and they'll push out 14. So that was the last year that the NCAA college football game was made. And obviously it was because of they had a lawsuit come about them because of player likeness, and the players weren't getting paid any of the revenue that was being made off of the NCAA football game. Well, now that certain states are passing where players can get paid off their likeness, and the NCAA is going to be forced into a corner to where they eventually have to look at player likeness and players being paid and at least allow it to a degree, I think EA looked at this opportunity and said, well, dag nabbit, we're getting back in the game, ladies and gentlemen. NCAA 2022 or whatever coming your way. Listen, if it was on pre-order right now, I'd pre-order it. All right, I'm just being honest. Those games, to me, are so much better than the Madden games.
Why?
And it's just because 100%. It's the Dynasty mode. Not only that, it's the Road to Glory mode that they have as well, where you're basically playing your 4 years out. Because what they did for a long time, and they stopped with the NCAA 14, and I don't know why, you could play a Road to Glory mode where you're the player, go your freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, you're trying to obviously be the best to ever play at whatever respective school you is. But what was nice after that is even for your Dynasty mode, for like players you have recruited, you could export and then import them onto the consisting Madden game. So say it was NCAA 11 and then Madden 11, you could play out and then you could import your player into the draft class and then just continue on down the road. Well, they took that shit away from us, and what they tried to make it up in the last Madden. You could at least play your final season of college football, but for only select schools that gave the licensing agreement for you to even play with them. So like a Clemson or an Alabama, not you going out there playing for, say you're an actual like Arkansas fan or something and you go play at Arkansas. So it's just the little things that the college game brings you that you can't do in Madden. Like when you are the head coach, you can work from OC to DC to head coach at jumping around from like a little Toledo to now I'm the defense coordinator at LSU. And it's the recruiting aspect where every year you're trying to just get those 5-star recruits. It's that part of it that's not there in Madden. Because obviously Madden is just, can you sign this guy, yes or no? Do you have the money or the cap space, yes or no? That's what I know I enjoyed about it. I'll tell you how much this was missed. I love Barstool and I love Pardon My Take. Well, they started a Twitch, and while Corona was happening and there were no sports, Big Cat from Pardon My Take at one point had 156,000 concurrent viewers watching him play as Coach Doug's coaching the team, and eventually, I think at one time, there was 300,000 people tuned into his national championship game. This
he wasn't actually playing.
No, like
he was
he was playing, and the guy, like the character he had made to be the coach
mode.
No,
they had that in some games.
They did have that in some games.
Where you can just call plays,
and it was weird. I didn't enjoy it, but
that's what I thought you were telling me. He's at least playing it.
He is at least playing.
I was going to ask you. I started looking at it. I was going to surprise you. I was thinking about it, but I know what she's going to say. I was thinking about hooking up the game and having it ready for you when you came in.
So, dude, I have it, but I don't have my Xbox 360 anymore.
Yeah.
I have the Xbox One X, and it's not backwards compatible. So I couldn't play the 360 game here. I would have to go out and buy a old 360 if I wanted to play.
I got 2 college games in one of my stacks. I threw some of them away. The newer ones didn't have Appalachian on them. The old ones did.
Yeah.
Like, how does that make any sense?
Well, this new one.
After App beat Michigan, they took us off.
This new one is going to be ready for like new gen consoles, and so it's obviously going to be optimized and the best graphics.
I'm not
stuff.
excited. I'm not excited about it, but I might get it just for the fact of the Appalachian State aspect if they have it. Because I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it straight up until I find out.
They will have it because you're officially FBS 1 in the Southern Conference. I promise you're going to have it.
Yeah, but what if Hunter? They say, what if NCAA or EA goes, save money, let's just do the Power 5.
Well, then nobody would buy it.
Yeah, they would.
Well, some people. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Listen. Some people would buy it, but it wouldn't be as nearly a big of a draw like what I was saying. When you can go to Dynasty Mode or whatever and coach like a Toledo to go on to win a national championship over Bama.
So let me give you my.
It's not as cool.
Thoughts on the game. Of course, obviously, I was 15 when it came out. I was in my college years.
I think the first one I ever had the Virginia Tech Hokie on it.
Right, I was in my college years when the PlayStation 2 and 3 and everything came out to where we could play. We could, play
I had it for PS2. First one I ever had
on that gen. So pros and cons of the college game compared to Madden, as far as I'm concerned. There's a lot of teams that's pretty. You're right as far as if I'm an Appalachian State fan, or it gives fans that are fans of like NC State or the Tar Heels a chance to have fun and play and compete in the actual, instead of just being Alabama Clemson. So I tell you what, I did like on them, and you're going to tell me you might roll your eyes at this one. I thought was the best and most important part of that game. The mascot games.
I love the mascot games. Those things were so fun. You have like all Clemson Tigers on one side.
You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen them?
All Clemson Tigers on one side, all Heels on one side. Right. It's so fun, dude.
Okay, I was just wondering.
I love that.
Some people hated that shit. I loved it.
And what I liked about it as well was how intricate at one point the Road to Glory got, to where you actually had like a schedule, like a Tuesday. You had to take a small test.
Oh, God.
Like you were actually a student.
So I actually, when I played people, I proposed we played the mascots. So if you're whatever fan you are, I was like, why don't we just play mascots? Then the game's fair and even, and we know, and then whoever plays better will win. And most people, they want to play with the real people. And I'm like, but it doesn't even have his name.
Right.
It's just like, the old NFL games, they would be like the Tecmo Bowl. Like when they didn't sign somebody, it would be like, so Randall Cunningham was QB Eagles, was what they would call them, or point guard Tar Heels. That's what the names used to be.
Yeah.
And so that I don't like, obviously, is not having names on it.
But that was a licensing thing.
Right.
That was, NCAA.
Also, what I do like about the college games that they didn't have or don't have in Madden, I'll never understand why. Why can you not pitch the ball?
Right.
In college, every player that touches the ball can pitch it.
Yeah.
In Madden, nobody can.
Yeah.
They act like that just because a lot of teams don't really run it in the NFL, I mean, you can't.
Right. You can run the option in the NFL if you want.
I should be able to pitch the ball if I want. And that is one thing I like in college, is being able to run the option. That is,
I took Marshall to three straight championships running the read option.
Put it this way: someone like me who has ran it in real life has a slight advantage on that.
Well, you know what to look at.
I tried to explain that to Andre one time. He's like, I was like, dude, I played the fucking position. I know.
Right.
I kind of know how to play.
It's just fun.
Right. This is just all right. So I like the option. I like the mascot games. I don't like how easy it was to turn the ball over. And I'm talking, it was ridiculous to the point, like, so my roommate in college, all right, he got so good at it, you couldn't pass on him.
Yeah, just switch to that guy.
I mean, you couldn't throw a pass more than 10 yards or he picked it off. In one game, I remember one of the next door neighbor quit. The last time he had 11 picks. And now, let me tell you which team he was playing with. And this is why the game was just silly. Akron.
They just picking everybody off with Akron.
He's from Akron. Right?
Yeah.
So he would go to the neighbors and be like, you want to play? And back then, Reggie Bush was the best player.
Yeah.
At USC. This is Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush days. Vince Young.
Yeah.
So everybody picked those teams. Oregon, Joey Harrington.
Yeah.
And he would just pick Akron. And then when he beat that guy that had USC and he picked him off 11 times with Akron.
Listen.
You've never seen
I have had the know-how.
But there was a lot of that game.
I have had the know-how in my brain to fix this quote on licensing rule that they were infringing upon, or the likeness. I know the likeness
name,
rule, image, likeness. The problem that they had was no matter which one you bought, let's say it's the one where Tim Tebow was there. If you clicked to play as Florida, you knew damn well, even though his name wasn't there, who 15 was at the quarterback spot for Florida.
Right. And other games you could edit.
You could edit names.
Then they blocked that.
Yeah, they blocked it. Same thing with the last one, NCAA 14. If you played as Texas A&M, you knew exactly who number 2 was at the quarterback position. It was Johnny Manziel. You knew who that was. You could just look around, because what they did was they kept it as the same numbers. And so that's easy for you to put 2 and 2 together. When I played as Georgia, Todd Gurley was in the backfield. I knew exactly who he was, and Keith Marshall. I knew Todd Gurley was number 3. Keith Marshall was number 4. I'm going to just feed them the damn ball the whole time. Number 11 was Aaron Murray. I just knew who it was. But if you were to make the game and then don't have the same numbers, okay, say it is still 2014, the NCAA 14, you got a quarterback in there, and instead of him being number 2, he's number 13. Hell, I don't know who that is. I don't know what quarterback that is, number 13. It's not Johnny. Johnny would be number 2. Instead of putting him as the star and being the best player, you could kind of make it as balanced around the board and just kind of have, there's an algorithm somewhere that's probably can make up fake ratings. To me, that is how they could have fixed this whole thing. Don't put the same number as every player, because like I said, you know who it is.
Yeah, but then people would have been mad because I want to play with this guy.
You can go in and edit the number and the names.
Right, I know.
Like, but people used to, because see, what you used to be able to do is you used to be able to download rosters off online. Someone would build it out. Right. You could download it, and they would have updated names and numbers on it. Someone took time to create that. So let them still have their little shit that they have to do, create that. But if you're EA, it's easy for you just to go, all right, instead of Johnny being number 2 and that actually being Johnny Manziel, we'll have number 13 be the quarterback of Texas A&M.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the legal part of it. I just hope they
that's
fix.
what I'm saying is like there's a way to get around it, but obviously
I just want Appalachian to be on it, and I want you to be able to play without the other team picking the ball off 10 times.
Well, you could probably turn down a slider. There's probably a setting you can turn down on that.
I want to go over the cover athletes.
I have seen multiple ones.
I'm talking about not for. Oh, every school has put out their own.
I know.
Gardner-Webb even put one out.
Cincinnati put one out.
Like,
it's
every
fun.
school's put out
It's
their
fun. I've enjoyed seeing them because they're fun.
I've got one on my computer with Armani Edwards on it that I made.
Yeah, it's fun. It's been gone for so long. Who do you put on? This past year's or would it be next year's?
Honestly, I'll get to that in a minute. Let's do this first.
I think it would be cool if they put on one of past.
All right. So Tommy Frazier was the first one. Quarterback for Nebraska. They ran the option. Hook me up over here, Tanner. Over here from Nebraska is where Tommy went. That was a damn good team. Just hard to stop. Didn't make it in the NFL, obviously. Next guy, Danny Warfel.
Woo, Florida.
From Florida. National champion. Obviously. Didn't he play for Redskins? Was he a Redskin?
I think he did. But I know he was still under Coach Spurrier at that time.
Yeah. 99, Charles Woodson. How about a Hall of Famer on that one? You guys nailed that cover athlete for the PlayStation there. Charles Woodson, number 2 at Michigan. And Ricky Williams was in 2000. He's pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Alexander in 2001.
God, that's a hell of a running back.
That was honestly, Hunter, it's going to sound weird to you guys. That's the first team I ever saw that I knew a player from Alabama.
Sean Alexander.
Or that it's the first. As honestly, I can say it, I don't know a single other player from Alabama before him.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't name one.
I loved watching him with Seattle.
2002, future Carolina Panther quarterback Chris Winkie was on the cover.
Winkie.
Let's do this real quick. So he was drafted as a 28-year-old. Hunter, believe that?
Jesus. Well, I can believe that because Brandon Whedon was the same way out of Oklahoma State. Right. He was like 26 or so or something like that.
Right.
And that's just because he had done a stint in the minor leagues with the Yankees and still had college eligibility, came back and played football.
So everybody can see better. All right, Tanner. You know nothing you can do right now but me sit here and do this. But all right, the next one, and this is the one I was talking about. So Hunter, I graduated high school in 2001. So this would have been my senior season, the 01. So freshman year in college was 02. I was in the dorms with the Florida State one. Joey Harrington one, I was in my first, and then look who the next one was Carson Palmer. So these are the days of USC and Oregon's. This is when Oregon started first doing their jerseys. This is the very first time they started doing that. That's what I like
too, is how many jerseys you could pick from in the NCAA game. Good Lord.
Larry Fitzgerald from Pittsburgh in 2005. That's a pretty damn good pick.
Heck yeah.
Desmond Howard, 2006.
That was the second ever NCAA game. The first one I had a Hokie on the front of it for some reason. Is that not a
throwback one? He didn't graduate in 2006.
No, he did not graduate in 2006. That was
he was the 96 Super Bowl MVP.
Well, there's one, the 2012 or 13 one's got Barry Sanders on it as well.
Was that an anniversary?
I think that
it says race for the Heisman. I wonder if that's where they introduced that you could win the Heisman in the game.
Yes,
that's probably what that
was. It. Yes.
All right. The next year was Reggie Bush. Mentioned that a little bit earlier. He's probably one of the fastest people ever in that game growing up.
Him or Mike Vick.
I've got the 08 one. That's the one. I do have that 08 one somewhere in my stack. That's the one we might have been playing today. That was Boise State's Jared Zabransky. I believe we missed on one, boys.
I think we did.
In 2009, there was 5 of them.
5 different covers.
And this is kind of what I think they should do this year. For returning, why couldn't you or shouldn't you be able to? Most people order them online. They should have, follow me here. What if they did one for each power conference that you buy in the stores? But if you buy online, you You can buy your team custom. You can buy an Appalachian State cover. You can buy a Tulane. Yeah, how much is it for them to print one sheet? Where they would sell 100 copies of the Appalachian one. All you need is print the sheet.
You just have the template, just print the sheet out.
Same team, same everything.
Yeah.
So, my proposal for this year would be to do something where it's more than just one, because you're gonna have somebody bitching. For what cracked me up, Hunter, I know you're gonna laugh. People are putting Sam Howell out there.
Yeah.
Let's say you might think he deserves it player wise, but you really gonna put a Tar Heel on the cover of NCAA football? Team that's never won shit, and Alabama and Clemson's dominated the last 10 years. Come on, we know who's going on this cover. Pick somebody from Alabama. Devontae Smith, probably, if you want one person. Trevor Lawrence.
But see,
don't they do the player from that's already graduated?
Yeah, but
usually?
what I'm saying is, what they would have done, that would have to be for this year. I'm just saying, if it's coming out in 2022, then it would be a player from this coming season.
Right.
So it could be Sam Howell if he balls out. That's all I'm saying. Because Sam Howell's
they're not
already
putting a Tar Heel on the first.
I'm just saying
first game.
Well, a lot of times what they really do is someone that's one of the Heisman winners too, or is in the Heisman race.
I said that, and there's 2 West Virginia people.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Who are those people? Texas, Brian Arakpo from Texas. And see, well, look, Hunter, they even put in 09 Sparty.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what I mean by, like,
you can put a mascot.
What if you put the mascot on I custom order Appalachian, so that we just fixed it. Every team and every team should be on the cover. I believe every team should be on the cover, and you should be able to order your mascot. So I get Yosef, Appalachian State, 2021.
Well, what would be crazy is, what if they only did it for like this year, and that way it's like a celebratory welcome back the game kind of deal. And then, do you know how rare that would be one day for you to say, I have this cover
right.
from the return, and just it'd be Yosef from App State.
2010, Arakpo, Brian Johnson, Mark Sanchez, and Michael Crabtree. The year before was Deshaun Jackson, Matt Ryan, Owen Schmidt, and Darren McFadden. McFadden was nasty in college.
That's the one I played the most of, was 11.
2011, Tim Tebow on the cover.
I played the hell out of that.
I've got this. This is the other one I got, is the 2012 Mark Ingram. I didn't buy anyone. Somebody gave them to me. RG3, the cover athlete.
He won the Heisman that year.
At Baylor.
And that's Barry.
Well, that's Barry Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
The next year, Denard Robinson, and that was the last year. So Michigan's had 2. I call him a returner, but I mean, he played quarterback.
Right.
Michigan's had 2 athletes. West Virginia had 2 in the same year. Actually, Michigan's probably had more than 2. Yep, 3. Michigan's had 3 cover athletes.
Yeah. Ohio State hadn't had 1.
And Appalachian State ended that school in 2004, whenever it was. They've won 3 bowl games since. In 17 years, boys.
I am just ecstatic that the franchise is back.
All right, so again, cover-wise, I like the mascots or team ideas if you could do custom. If not, and they're going to do a player or a 4 or 5.
I think they should just do Heisman winners.
You could do that. I like that idea.
Because it's supposed to be the best player in college football.
Yeah. Why don't they put, if you're going to just do one, why don't they just put Alabama on the mascot on the cover? Whoever wins the national championship every year,
just put that mascot.
That mascot's on the cover of the next. If you want to go on the cover.
Just not even put a player and put all the logos.
You know, EA and all them, all these sports games, they love having an icon on the front.
If it was up to ESPN, they'd put Mac Brown on the cover.
No, they
if
probably
it was the AP coaches would put Mac Brown on the cover. They love Mac Brown.
Nick Saban on the cover. Nick Saban would be on the cover of every single one.
Who is this person from Utah? It says Utah quarterback Brian Johnson. I do not remember him at all.
Brian Johnson. You said Utah. I was about to say, is that Alex Smith?
Yeah, there's no Alex Smith. A Texas Tech, Michael Crabtree. So there's the covers.
It's cool how some of them are different just depending on which copy you bought. Because like I went from PlayStation to 360, and so some of them were different.
Right.
They should just make a cover where it has all the teams' logos on it too.
Well, give me 4 or 5 players that could be on the cover for next year.
If it was to come out this year and technically be called NCAA 22, because obviously it's 2021, it would be next year.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
And they had to go with teams that just played. Probably.
I'm talking about next year. Like,
next year.
About what they're going to do.
Players for next year.
What they're actually going to do.
Sam Howell would be a part of the conversation because he has got Heisman watch on him from North Carolina. And that's me just leaning towards on like the Heisman part of it, where I would want the Heisman winner to be on the front. Mm-hmm. I think Ritter. No, not Ritter. I'm sorry. What's his name? Rattler. From Oklahoma will be in conversation because they'll be obviously competing for national championship probably out of the Big 12. So there's two. It would be Spencer Rattler and Sam Howell. I think JT Daniels would be a part of that conversation too out of Georgia because I'm trying to think of an SEC school that would probably be in consideration.
So this one's Heisman watches. It's got Sam Howell, Rattler, Clemson quarterback who I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I know. I can't say it.
Bryce Young at Alabama.
Just say DJ.
Thibodeau at Oregon. Kevon Thibodeau.
Mm-hmm.
He's a defensive player, so that's not going to happen.
No.
Slovis at USC. Bryce Hall at Iowa State. There's some front runners for that.
So yeah. So to me, if I just had to whittle it down to two, it'd probably be either Sam Howell or Rattler.
Okay. All right.
I didn't even know that both of them were right there in Heisman watch. That was me just guessing on Rattler. I knew Sam Howell was because he had like the most touchdown passes through a sophomore season than anybody in the ACC. I think he was at like 68. So,
all right. So I want to give you some scenarios here for the Super Bowl.
All right, Super Bowl talk. Let's go.
If Patrick Mahomes wins, beats Brady, Brady's 6-4. Mahomes will have won 2.
Back to back.
That puts him on a list of
back
a lot
of
of people.
Mm-hmm.
Of not a lot of people. I'm sorry.
Of a few people.
Of about 10, probably. Let's see, Montana.
Not to mention, just kind of like how I said it too. He would be one of the few that could have done it back to back.
Elway.
Champion last year. And
there's like 12 guys. 12
guys that have at least 2 Super Bowls.
I think.
How many of them are back to back?
There's 12. Not a lot. Montana did.
I heard the craziest stat today. It was
Avon did.
In 43 years.
Bradshaw did.
It was like in 43 years before
Bart
they
Starr.
Drafted Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs had only won 4 playoff games. He's won 6 since he's been there.
It's been that long. Are you serious,
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs?
Mm-hmm.
See
Greenberg, or what's it? Is that
Mike Greenberg?
Yeah, Mike Greenberg. He's got his own show, obviously, on ESPN. I saw the clip on Twitter, and it was like top 10 fun facts. They're like out crazy about Patrick Mahomes. That was one of them, and another one was he's like 8-1 in games where he's trailed by double digits.
Well, see, Kansas City ain't even been bad.
No, because
Like,
Alex Smith and they were making the playoffs before him.
Like they've had so many good running backs.
Oh my God, Priest
Tony
Holmes,
Gonzalez.
Larry Johnson. Jeez.
Hey, you don't even know or wasn't around for the Nigerian Nightmare.
No, I wasn't.
Christian Okoye. He was the original. I would say he's close to Derrick Henry, as in
Size. The run style.
I'm talking like people bounced off him. Like it was like it wasn't like Derrick Henry will stiff arm you and kind of run through a tackle. You were like people would try to hit him,
right? And
they bounced off of him. It was a silly like as a defender, you're just like, okay, this is stupid. He's just a ball of muscle,
right?
He's you can almost hear just when you see him the ball just boom, boom, you can like hear the sounds of football. Just watch him run.
It's crazy.
The Nigerian Nightmare.
But yeah, I mean Kansas City, like they haven't been bad. They just haven't been great.
Right.
And then they draft him. He's the MVP the first year he starts, and then the next 2 years he's in the Super Bowl and already has one of them as a win. And the next one, I'm leaning towards picking him to win this one. So it would be back-to-back. MVP, Super Bowl. That's rare air.
Now, right. And he's got 15 to 20 years of play in the
Jesus, yeah. Because I think
15 years ahead.
Somebody was like, you don't understand. We have like 10 to 12 years left in Mahomes. Brady's not playing, even though he'd probably want to another 10 to 12 years. He'd be 52 or 53 years old.
Right. So Brady's going to be a tough spot.
Oh, I know.
When we look at all this at the end of Brady's career, and they were comparing him to Michael, and Michael was the best basketball player, period, all around. Brady's not that. Like, you don't sit there and say he's not perfection. You don't sit there and say he don't have the best arm ever.
He's not the most athletic.
He's not the most athletic. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like Michael, like Kareem, you can make the argument he got all of his points standing in the lane throwing jump hooks, and that wasn't athletic. But god dang, Kareem's a black belt, so he's an athlete.
Yeah.
Let's not say Kareem. But what you understand what I mean? Like,
I know exactly what you mean.
It's not like
we're talking about,
if Cam Newton had won 6 championships, you're arguing he's maybe the best athlete ever. In comparing him with Michael. But comparing Brady, a pocket passer like that, to as one of the greatest athletes, I think we're going.
I don't think he's ever ran for more than 20 yards in a game.
Right. To me, it's the accomplishment thing. Like, yeah, he might have the greatest career accomplishments. Maybe, yeah. You could argue that. But, like, a lot of people still going to take Dan Marino to throw the ball. A lot of people's definitely going to take Vic.
They'll take
Jackson,
Rodgers to throw the ball.
To run the ball, Rodgers to throw the ball. But, again, to win that, Brady. But Brady's lost him. He lost to Eli twice. Lost to Nick Foles, a backup. So, let's say let's do a win-loss for both of them. If Brady wins, he's got 7, and he beat what people think now is the best guy. It's going to be hard to ever argue that he's not the best quarterback ever. Now, football player, I'm not going to do that. I'm not putting. No. I don't think I'm putting a quarterback over LT or Deion Sanders, and I'll start there.
There's a difference between, because I used to say this all the time back when Patrick Peterson first came into the league, and he was a lockdown number one corner. I took that side of the field out, but was also their punt returner. And I would look at people and I would say, I'm not saying he's the best cornerback. I'm saying he's the best football player.
Right.
Because because they used him on a couple sets on offense too. Like, they would just slide him in there because he was such a freak athlete and could catch the ball. He was a DB.
Peppers is one of the best football players.
Right.
Ever.
Like, he was just a DB with hands. And so I understand completely. Like, Tom Brady, we can sit here and say probably the best quarterback ever, best football player ever. We're talking about a lot of athletes.
Right. And then it's also a team sport. So you look at it that way. And
he did take the most losing franchise, though, the last decade in the Bucs to the Super Bowl. That's going to be hard to dismiss.
Right. There's a lot of positive things. So let's say, so if he wins, then if you lose, what do you say about Brady? Because it's all going to be what Patrick Mahomes does the rest of his career. However you look at Tom Brady, his career is going to be dependent upon what Patrick Mahomes does over his career.
And see, that comes down to, you just pray to God that what Patrick Mahomes looks like he's projecting to be hits.
Right.
Like
what if he goes 1-5 in Super Bowl?
Like, I want you to think about that. 2 Super Bowls within your first 4 years. Really?
Right.
Well, first 4 years, your first 3 years of starting, because your first year he was drafted, he sat behind Alex Smith. But the first year he started, MVP, and then 2 Super Bowls.
Mahomes loses to Brady and still wins 6 Super Bowls. You can't rake him ahead of Brady,
because Brady got
beat
7.
by 40-some-year-old Brady,
and Brady would have 7 to his 6-1.
Right. So Mahomes, if he wants to be in that conversation, has to win this game.
And I think he
has to win this
game.
No,
100%. He has to win this game.
Right. Because it's gonna be tough winning 8 damn Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But he can win 5 or 4. He can go 4-0 like Montana and beat Brady
head to head
and have an argument. And the Brady fans will say, well, we've got 6 and he was 43 when you beat him. That'll be the argument. But
there's so many different ways you can paint this.
Right. If he doesn't, that's why I want to look at the quarterback. If he doesn't beat him, then you're like, ain't no way. You can never be better than him because he just beat you in the Super Bowl.
You know what else I think is another...
And real quick, what's funny about that is Mahomes could have a way better game in this game and win and lose, and Brady win.
100%. That's the truth.
Brady's the game. To me, game manager is a insult to some people, but to me, he's the ultimate game manager.
I think
he's not the ultimate difference maker. I think he's the ultimate game manager.
No, I think 100% Brady is the X factor in this game for both teams.
Yeah.
If Brady plays phenomenal, I think the Chiefs are going to be in for a fight. If Brady plays 193 picks like he has these last 2 games, I think the Bucks are done for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, to me, he's the great X factor.
We might have a defender be the MVP in this game.
Maybe. Because we're talking about the offensive line being diminished for Kansas City, how Tampa Bay's defense is really going to try and exploit that, obviously.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, yeah, that's great. But what if Tom still throws 3 picks? You think Patrick Mahomes, with his athletic ability, can't overcome without 2 offensive linemen?
If I'm Tampa, you're missing 2 linemen, 2 tackles, quarterback limps.
I think I might just send 4.
No. And he's got a concussion. I send everybody.
Well, I'm just saying it because
you're scared of Tyreek Hill and man-to-man.
Absolutely.
I understand it. But
And
you
Travis
can leave
Kelce.
one safety back. I leave one safety back.
I'm just saying if I
and
send
blitz
4,
everybody else.
I just think I would be confident sending either 4 or 5 on that blitz
I want
and
them
being fine
to be
with it.
overwhelmed. Not if you only send 4 and they start blocking it, you're giving them confidence.
Yeah.
If you only send 4 and Patrick Mahomes, see, the reason I want to send more is I want him to move on that foot. I really do. And I know it starts getting dangerous, but he's not at full speed. So if he's not at full speed and scrambling, he might not really be too. He may run if he gets the opportunity, but he's not the threat that he normally is. And what I would do every time somebody gets pressured, it seems like in the Super Bowl they fall apart and lose. Brady, when he got pressured, quarterbacks, that's the biggest thing. If you let any NFL quarterback, Hunter, stand there and throw the ball, they're going to complete it, except Cam. But they're going to
throw a pick.
If you let most of them stand there and get the ball off, most of the time they're going to complete it. And I think the Bucks, they might not even have to send 5, 6, or 7. They might be able to get home in 4.
That's what I'm saying.
But I would at least have. If I was there, my strategy coaching would be overwhelming them. I don't care if they get lucky and get one deep and beat me man to man.
I think if I'm Todd Bowles, defensive coordinator,
I don't know what his strategy is. I don't know.
If I'm him,
what he normally does.
Oh well, he blitzes.
Does he?
They bring a lot of pressure. But if I'm him, I'm testing it and seeing early if I can get home with 4, or 5, because they don't have either tackle.
You know, one thing they don't do nowadays that I just don't get and wish, and I know the kids today would lose their mind and Twitter would explode. There needs to be more dirty play. And what I mean by that, first quarter, first drive, I'm the coach. Hunter, would you hit Mahomes late one time for me?
Just one time.
I don't give a fuck about 15 yards in the first quarter.
Rattle him a little bit.
Right. After he throws
get in his head a little bit.
You take 3 steps and you lay him out.
Crush
and
him.
especially in the playoffs. And one thing, the running quarterbacks in the playoffs, and I've said this time and time again, I don't understand the NFL more often that these guys don't get blown up on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares if I start a fight? If I hurt him at all, you're bringing in your backup and we're going to win. So, like, anytime a quarterback scrambled, I would light him. I would take the penalty on defense.
Yeah, but then
I don't
you got
care.
people that are...
Let the people wide.
Then you essentially have on your hands Saints Bounty Gate.
That's
where
fine.
It's like,
This is football.
I'm fine.
This is football.
I want you to intentionally go out there and hurt somebody.
I didn't say hurt him.
Well, you said
I
if
didn't say
he
dive
gets
at his
hurt.
knee.
You're saying if he gets hurt.
Good. Hit him late.
So, look,
he can still protect himself late.
listen, I'm fine with somebody maybe getting in somebody's head a little bit, maybe roughing them up a little bit, but to go in there with ill intent to actually hurt the guy, I'm kind of indifferent.
I didn't say put him in a figure 4. I said suplex him.
Now, listen.
I'm telling you, Hunter, first play, wrap him up, slam his ass on the ground. If you give me a 15-yard penalty, I don't care. You know what we're here for. You know why we're here.
That just goes to show to make the games fixed.
I mean, I'm just, and especially think about what we're looking at. Patrick Mahomes at full strength is tough to damn beat, but you got one that might be hurt.
All right.
You have to take the chance that honestly, Hunter, I know this is dirty play or whatever. You have to hit him in the head. This is the Super Bowl. You have to take the chance that the medical staff's going to say he can't go back in. Make somebody take him out. Do you want to do that, or you want to let him throw 50 times and play friendly?
I'm not saying
Take
play
your ass
friendly,
whooping.
but you ain't got to hit him in the head. I mean, now if you listen
it's
to
football.
Now listen. Now if you want to spear him in the ribs, I'm fine with it.
I'm not talking about like when I mean hit him. I'm not talking like crown of the helmet.
You
hit him like a football player.
Right.
Right.
Like
a real football
But
player.
I'm thinking we can do that without hitting him in the head.
Nah, face to face, face mask.
Just hit him in the ribs.
God, you're such a pussy. Hit him like a real football player.
No, it's not that. It's
You're worried about the sanctity of the game?
Yeah, safety. I would much.
I'm blitzing the shit out of him. I'm hitting him. I'm body slamming him. I'm kicking his ass.
That's just taking advantage of the information.
If I take a 15-yard penalty early,
that's just taking advantage of the information that you have.
Right.
The problem is I would not go for the head. One, as a coaching aspect, say you send the wrong guy after him and he's kind of a key part of your defense and they actually say illegal hit to the head targeting, you're getting the hell out of here, and it's just the first quarter. So that's where I'm like, spear him. Get him in the ribs. I mean, good Lord, Justin Fields is an exception how he played after he got speared in the ribs against Clemson. This is an NFL defense instead of Clemson's defense that they put out there for that.
I want them to take Mahomes, grab him by the head, stick his head between their legs, pick him up, and powerbomb him like Kevin Nash.
I don't think they can do that.
Whoa.
Are you trying to let him get killed?
Do what, Tanner?
Are you trying to let him get killed?
I'm trying to let him get. I'm trying to hurt him. I mean, honestly, listen, it's the Super Bowl, and to me, you do everything you can to win. And I don't know. I know Hunter's got a different philosophy on that. He wants to see them play. I'm coaching. I'm just gonna hurt somebody. Oh God! Let's see.
They're gonna put you in pads and make you go hurt them.
I mean, listen. I've played quarterback. Plenty of people hit me in the face. We talk about is this terrible? Oh, good God!
I know how it is. My brother played quarterback.
Yeah, what did Brett Favre say? Certain Nets will be in the finals. We'll go over some of this. Let me show you this highlight before we get out of here. I want to show you some Nigerian Nightmare. Tanner, go ahead and switch it over. I want you to watch this guy run this ball.
Where's the one with
Just
3?
hit transition. Don't worry about you. Where's the one with 3? Oh, wrong one. There we go. All right. Just watch these people bouncing off him. This is the Nigerian Nightmare. Look at that, Hunter. And he's still standing up.
That's a big man. That's just a big man. Look at his lineman next to him. He's got the size of him. Like that's just like handing it off to a lineman right there. He runs straight up too. Look at him.
Big boy.
There's no possible way of taking him down.
It looks like he's got wheels too.
Oh, he can run. The Nigerian Nightmare.
That's a big man.
Is that not a cool nickname though?
Yeah,
that's a cool nickname.
Can the Falcons just have somebody like him?
It's like All-Star.
Listen.
Y'all saw an All-Star run.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of like watching. That's kind of like how he was. A little bit, probably a little bit better than All-Star, but
listen, no.
he was
talking about the Falcons doing something. How about they actually just get an offensive coordinator that knows what the hell to do?
For real.
Get the ball to Julio and to Calvin and actually learn to lean on your run game a little bit.
The night.
Because that's what screwed them out of a Super Bowl.
Oh, there's a Falcons highlight.
There.
No, Vic Beasley got hurt too.
Yeah, I know, but you guys were up 28-3 and decided we just want to keep throwing the ball. We didn't just want to.
All right, Tanner.
We didn't just want to run a clock out. So.
All right, Hunter. Any other? You thought? I know Saturday we're going to really get into it with Terry and Tom Moore, but I didn't know if you had any. I just kind of wanted to talk like
the Super Bowl
about the. I was just kind of mentioning what matters for the quarterbacks. You know, a lot in this game.
You know.
Any other thing you kind of that we might not really talk about on a Saturday?
Probably not. I mean, I'll say it now because I'm going to reiterate it Saturday. I got the Chiefs. And it's just because I think they're the better overall football team than the Bucs. I like Brady, don't get me wrong. Even when he was with the Patriots, I didn't have to like the Patriots, but I liked Tom Brady. I know how great he really is. Just if I'm looking at teams overall, right now the Kansas City Chiefs defense is peaking at the right time. They're playing really good. So I'm going to take the more explosive offense in Kansas City at this time over Tampa Bay.
If Kansas City wins, how many Super Bowls does Mahomes have to win to be considered better than Brady?
It's easy for me just to sit here and say it would have to be 7. But that's people.
You beat somebody head to head. Let's say 6.
If he beats him head to head,
yeah, he's gonna beat him head to head.
Yeah,
so 6 would be
6 would be fine.
Okay.
I think that's a good number.
Because 5 are you having the argument?
Now 5, we can talk about it.
Okay.
But I'm not going to give you much validity unless he has 6. Now he has to get past 4 first because Montana's sitting right there with 4.
Bradshaw's
got 4. I mean, we got quarterbacks
Troy
in front
Aikman's
of him.
3-0.
Now I will say this: if he gets it, and this is his second, I'm going to put him in front of Rodgers and Breeze. Even though Breeze is an all-time passing. Again, they only have, and Rodgers obviously still going to play, and Breeze maybe, but they only have 1 Super Bowl. So you look up there of guys that might have 1 Super Bowl. I will have.
So you got Big Ben and Eli ahead of Rodgers and Breeze?
Yeah, just a little bit.
You really do?
If I'm just talking championships.
Well, I know that.
Right.
I can count to 2.
Nah, I mean, I'll take Breeze over Rodgers and Eli. I'll probably take Rodgers over Eli and maybe Roethlisberger. It's weird because then I also have to get into the conversation where now we're at 2 with Patrick. Peyton's sitting right there with 2. But neither one of them is a Super Bowl MVP. Or no, one of them is. The other one isn't. The other one was Von Miller. And Patrick
Did Peyton not
Mahomes
win it in his first one?
I think he did. I think that's the one I'm giving him.
Yeah.
But he didn't win it in the second one.
No.
Eli won both of his. So I'm sitting here, and then what we're going to look at now is if Mahomes wins this, is if he is in fact voted back-to-back Super Bowl winners, Super Bowl MVP. I don't know, man. It's getting ready to be tough. But I will say this. He's over Marino. He will be, if he wins this, he is over Marino.
I feel so bad for Dan Marino as far as like
As much of a talent as he was never to win it.
Yeah. You know, put it this way. It's Phillip Rivers' numbers with a whole lot better looking
throw. Yeah. Better arm motion.
Like, yeah. And I mean, Dan Marino, like everybody, there's not anybody that didn't like Dan Marino. I can't think of anybody that hated Dan Marino. Like, that's not...
Like, Patrick Mahomes has a very similar play style to Aaron Rodgers, and he's probably going to get 2 Super Bowls to what looks like might be Rodgers' only one. You also got to think about it. He'll have more Super Bowls than Steve Young and Brett Favre, too. At this age, it's different when we're talking about they might have 5 years left to go.
Right.
Or 3 or 4 years to go, and they win it late.
Who would have bet 11 years ago that Breeze and Rodgers would never make it back to
another Super Bowl?
Not even win it, never make it back.
And then you look at it and say, but there's this kid that's going to be drafted, and he makes it to 2 Super Bowls in his first 4 years and wins both of them.
Hey, if you'd have told me in 1995 Dallas Cowboys would never make it back to another championship game. After the 95 season, we just won the 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years.
I want you to think about this.
Never made it in 25 years.
Like, I'm just looking at this list
game.
up there. He'll have more than Russell Wilson, who's still playing at a high level.
There's only like 5 people he ain't gonna have more than.
Oh, I know.
It's not, the list isn't big.
No.
Like 3 and more Super Bowls. It's Montana.
Like, I will say this.
Brady, Bradshaw, and Aikman, isn't it? Isn't that it?
I think Aikman's got 3. Elway's got 2. Bradshaw has 4. Montana has 4. Brady has 6. Peyton has 2. Eli has 2. Roethlisberger has 2.
Staubach 2. That whole bottom thing's got 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Stabler 2. No, he's only got 1. But yeah, there's only 4 people with more than 2.
I think we can shape it out this way.
Yeah.
If he wins this Super Bowl this weekend, Patrick Mahomes, I don't think it's really even a good argument to say he's outside of top 10.
Okay.
But for him to, but we gotta wait before we can have
but
a
if
go.
he don't,
we gotta. Now you're right. If he don't, I think he could be fringe, because I would go ahead and probably say he's my favorite to get back there next year. It's just, if you look at this in longevity, how it's going to play out, and the team he has around him, as long as he's got Andy Reid and those players, he could be back there for the next 4 years. He could. if he plays as great as he does, and injuries don't hit.
Listen, the Chiefs, they can be good. Put it this way. They don't have a good enough running game.
No.
I don't think.
Well,
to
I think
sustain a 3 to 5 championship
now,
dynasty.
I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire can be that. It just hurt them this year that he was injured, but he's back now. He played a little bit last week, but he's back for this game.
So sustaining. Let's say they win.
Yeah, but Andy Reid's never relied on a run game.
Right. Let's say they win 10 games a year. Okay. The one thing that you have to take consideration that you don't is, again, Aaron Rodgers ain't never had no losing seasons. Ben Roethlisberger ain't never had no losing seasons, and neither one of them has been back in the last 10 years. So it's not just them; it's the other teams. So how good are the Bills getting? How good are the Browns getting? Are the Steelers competitive enough? Can the Ravens knock them off in a running game shootout if they catch them at home or something
I think
like that?
the only thing that I would say to go with that, like you're saying, I get it. I think the Bills are on the rise. I think the Browns are on the rise. I think eventually John Gruden and the Raiders could be really good if they keep picking
if you take
right.
the Patriots' number 5 defense right now
And put a quarterback
and put a
with
real
him.
quarterback
Yes.
in the room.
To me, what it comes down to is, I've said this for when the Chiefs beat the Browns and the Bills, or at least when LaFleur lost, Andy Reid. I think it's the coach and what he has around him. I think he's head and shoulders above everybody else outside that's not named Belichick and maybe Sean Payton. And this was something that nobody's really going to talk much about either. You know, obviously Belichick has 6 rings, but when does Andy Reid start getting into the discussion as probably one of the better coaches of all time?
Never.
You know, he never really has.
He's only got one.
I know, but
There's a lot of people with.
He made
There's
one
a
with
lot more
Donovan.
coaches with more than
I'm
one.
just saying, if he wins this year, he'll have 2.
Until last year, Hunter, everybody thought he was a disappointment. So
I know.
You can't go from you're not good enough to win with the most talent in the league to now you have the most talent and you win, and then we talk about how great you are. So either Mahomes is the best or Andy Reid makes Mahomes the best. And I do think Mahomes is pretty damn good.
I think Mahomes is fantastic.
But you put him with a good offense like Andy Reid's, it's going to be good.
They're a match made in heaven.
Their running game, I just don't think they're a perfect team. I think they're good. I think if they
Could
can
you
find,
imagine if they were a perfect
if they
team?
can find a running back, say in the draft, an Etienne or whoever can start a starter running back.
I think
somebody
they have
that's
one.
scary and dangerous. I'm not talking about somebody that's doable.
Right.
I'm talking about if they get somebody that's scary, they can run the ball. It's Dalvin Cook. You know, they don't. I'm saying well, shit. Because right now they've got to stop. All you're thinking is man to man. You know, I got to stop Tyreek from breaking loose, and I got to keep Kelsey from getting over the top on it. And you're not really thinking about run game. It's there, but that's not what's killing you.
I would not
if
surprise me.
they end up getting a good, I'm talking a stud.
Well, I thought last year the one that was the game changer, but in that game against San Francisco was Damian Williams, their running back, because he had the huge breakout run to go and get that touchdown that came. It was like almost a 20-yard run, and I thought that was the game changer. Besides Garoppolo throwing that pick, if I'm just looking at the Chiefs, so
what if they had Christian McCaffrey? Somebody like
that'd
that.
be the most dangerous football team
That's what I'm
we've ever
saying, like
seen.
somebody like that.
Like
where
we're talking
he gets
about possible 16-0
if he could
and
be done.
possibly an NFL championship
Well,
at the
see,
end
what
of
you're
it.
thinking, how you feel right now about the Chiefs, you got to think that's how Cowboys fans felt.
Oh, I know.
Like there's nothing.
There's no weakness.
It is so disappointing that they won only 3. Let me put it that way. That's what's hard to swallow. It's disappointing. Is that Jerry shitted us by firing the coach, 1,
Yeah.
and then Irvin hurting his neck. I think it was 96. It might have been 98, but our defense, once we had Dion and Woodson, and then Jerry started. I don't know. They got weird.
To me, the last thing I'll say on it, I think the Chiefs do win, and if they do, I think this is going to be one of those things like the Patriots where we're talking about they're there every year. Whether they win it or not, that's up in the air. But I think once they do this, we'll have 2 years in a row.
Well, they've got the salary cap for the next 2 years, and then it gets ugly.
Yeah.
So, all right. Finally here, Tanner, I want to pull this up here. I want to congratulate the Cleveland Community College Yetis on their first ever win in actually their first game.
Mm-hmm. He did get that cold ice bath,
and
freezing weather.
And this is Coach Gene Bowles with the ice bath, and it was like 30 degrees up in Surrey County. he caught the ice bucket. Congratulations, Gene. It's just not congratulations to him, Hunter. It's the whole program, the school. It's the first school victory. Think about it. The school at this time has never lost a baseball game.
Yeah, never lost a baseball game in program history.
Tanner, you be proud of that. That's your school. Say what? Yetis? Something? You got a Yeti rap.
Just go Yetis,
dude.
No,
you've got to. You know how viral and big that would be if you could come up with a rap for the Yetis.
And you have the mascot in there.
They could use it either for their walk-up music, just for like promotions.
Keep it clean. We got kids out there, but
yeah, you need to get into making beats because then you could do that. If you could do that, or just steal one off the internet, I guess you could just steal one and then put that in. That's the first step, I guess, is to being creative with stuff is getting that going. But I want to thank you, Tanner, for joining us today. We're going to listen to some more fun stuff later on with Tanner. I'm going to get him into some country music here, listening to some old country. Oh, God. Old country.
Wow.
The kind, Tanner, that make you want to cut somebody or spit on somebody if they say something wrong about your mama or your dog.
Hank Williams? Not Junior.
No.
Hank Williams?
I've listened to some Hank Williams Sr., some David Allen Coe, some all kinds of that stuff. It's going to be fun. What are you doing? Talking about country music. Tanner, the intern's playing me away, Hunter. He's ready to go the fuck home.
We'll see you guys next time.
No, we're not going to see you. I'm going to keep talking. It's bullshit. Hey, no, hit that button. Go back. Finish that out. There you go. We got 22 seconds to complain. Hunter, you like his jersey?
Yeah, which one of the hangers did it come off of?
It's his. It's
his. There you go.
I do not own that one. Which one of the hangers did it come off? Everybody have a good day. See you Saturday. Enjoy our new channel, Shock Joxx channel. Tune in. I'm going to be uploading videos later. KTC Broadcasting.